You know, I haven't gone live on a solo in a long time. The others, they're getting done, I guess, doing their geeky puppet show thing. I've got a lot of stuff I wanted to do tonight. I wanted to look at do a tier list with Christmas movies and such. I wanted to show off some books. I've got the entire auction for this week all right here. Probably throw in some other stuff. But a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff going on. Christmas coming up. I invited Dalton, invited the gang. And one thing, excuse me, cough. One thing that's bothering me, I got my family, my mother sent me these track phones that I've been trying to set up. And for some reason, they want me to click on messages and shit from the phone that I can't use anymore because they took my number away. So they keep sending, hey, we need to know it's you. So we're sending this message to the phone. Well, why don't you send it to an email or something? I don't know. It's a weird thing. It is a very weird thing for them to say, oh, here's your new phone. But in order to get your new phone set up, you need to have that old phone going as well. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope everybody's feeling fine and doing well. All right, I'm just waiting to see if anybody jumps in to be a part. Hey, what's up, musical? I highly doubt that. Yeah, I just thought, that's what all the freaking old time Perry Como kind of Christmas things said. And I thought, you know what would be funny? If we even just suggested that Eric Breen was going to sing. Not going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. What the honest heck is going on here? But yeah, I tried to set up a phone, and now, in all honesty, I was ready to throw a fit. I was ready to just say, you know what? If and this is why I don't go solo so much. Merry Christmas doesn't seem like it's time already. I know, right? But we know it because Hans Gruber is almost at the pavement. This is the most awesome advent calendar I have ever seen in my entire life. But right there we see, there's Hans Gruber. He's about to hit the pavement. It's the 23rd. I think it's kind of silly that they didn't let you bring it all the way down. But there you go. Awesome. I was going to put this in the booth and sell it. And then I was like, no, I'm using this shit. And I've followed it, but there you go. Christmas is close because Hans Gruber is almost street meat. That's the most important thing there to understand at least that much, right? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about half time. All righty. I know one of the things I wanted to join the group, but they're talking about new comics, and I just don't read new comics very much. I guess I could get back into it at some point, but I just don't know where and what. You know what? I did read a new comic. I read, what is this thing called? Let me pull it up. I read, it's not Freddy the Fix. I started reading Freddy the Fix because that's one of the one-shots. It's called Marvel Holidays Tales to Astonish. They're not astonishing tales. They're passable at most. At least I can actually do a review of that. I might record that for the other channel. Let's see. How are you doing, guys? Jackson Roykirk, hello, Maranya. Jay is in the house as well. Ethereal going on. Oh, that's crazy. And I know, right? It's just badass. Like I said, it was supposed to be sold at the booth, but nah, sometimes you just have to say, no, I'm keeping that. And I might have a comic I'm going to hang on to as well. But right now, it's all good to go for the auction here. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what we're showing off. Let's see. Let's see, every Christmas movie and special. I'd started the live stream a little bit early, and realized I wasn't ready, but that usually happens. I'm okay with that. We were talking last night. I think it was, oh goodness, who was it? They asked, what would you like people to know? And one thing is, around here, it's not very professional. In all honesty, it's, and I've been here for now 8 years or so. And in all honesty, I don't know if I'll ever become professional. You know, like, gotta dot all the I's and cross all the T's and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if that will ever be me. Just probably won't. But that's part of, I don't know, that's part of what I think the charm is around here. Okay. Let me get this tier list going. As if I don't have people jumping in, this is what I've got to do. This and showing off a whole bunch of books. Did I include that in here? That was kind of silliness. Alrighty. Yeah, a lot of books. Like I said, I got the auction. I've got 2 weeks worth of Big Dogs came in today. Well, and yeah, I paid for a couple of them. They weren't sent for a long time. And now they're all here. So this coming up auction is going to be something. There's a few $1 books, but I think I might do exactly what I did last time, where I'm grouping them and putting them on some sort of sale or something. Yeah. Let's see. It doesn't have to be polished. You guys are real here for the nerdy fun of it all. With all the years you spend under the bridge with all the donkeys, you have to be professional by now. Well, at that, yes, I'm the best at Donkey King, but you know, doing the whole YouTube thing, no. Things you never thought you'd say on online in public. Let's clip that one out. How you doing, Dark Admiral? What's going on? Okay, so you know what? While the other guys are here, I don't know, should I show off the books or should we do the Christmas movie thing? I was wanting to do that anyway. Somebody, I don't know who it was, last year said, hey, you know what? You should do a movie tier list. Talk about what is your Christmas, they said. Well, the thing is, there's a good number of movies and TV specials, excuse me, I watch. And it starts off in November. And what I do is I always start off with the lesser ones. You know, like I like them, or maybe they're just, they're okay. Something that probably a lot of people would even say is bad and they don't like. But I'll start off with them. And as the days come closer, the better ones come out. Like we just watched The Grinch and Emma Daughter's Jug Band Christmas. And tomorrow we'll be watching like Elf, A Christmas Story. And on Christmas, I always do the Santa Claus trilogy because I do love those movies. I thought a good idea would be for the auctions to bring back the wheel. Okay. My first thought was, no, I shouldn't be doing it. I'm losing money because I don't think that the wheel ever moved the needle. But I was thinking about this. We did something. I forget what it was, but recently we did something, and there was an element of fun to it. And I think that's the point. You know, let's do something fun. And I found this book. It is a hardcover, and it's a story. It's the story of King Kong. It's a King Kong. It's an illustrated storybook that tells the, you know, so there you go. And I thought that would be cool. It's from 1970s. I haven't looked it up. So I have no idea what the price is on it. I know what I paid for it. And I thought, you know what, this Saturday, the auction, make the wheel over $100 order, says, yeah. Jay says, I'll put $1 on the King Kong. Well, that's also something I thought. Because I got 2 particular books that might actually be good giveaways. But the thing is I know I could sell this for $10. I probably could sell this for $10. Either one of them would fit. And so, you know, but it was just fun. It was fun doing the wheel. So I did buy some prospects. I thought King Kong would be good. Hey, did you see this RDV? I got a Katie Keene trade paperback. Yeah, I found.
Let the girls know.
Yeah, but I thought I would attach it to the wheel, make it maybe $25. I don't know if I'd do it the $100.
Yeah, if you attach it to the wheel, is everybody gonna read it then?
Well, they have to spin.
You're gonna drive it over. It's on your wheel.
Yeah. Also, you know what? I'll give it to you straight if you know how to freaking get a track phone going. God damn it! That is
track phone.
Yeah.
Usually they set it up right at Walmart.
Well, this was sent to me. But yeah, I guess I'll take it to Walmart and see. I was trying to get that thing going. Hey, Erica Boyd, what's up? What's going on?
I bought mine right at Walmart, and then the guy set it up, and then basically, yeah, he just all I gotta do is every month I'd buy whatever the minute card, and then I just do the texting where it just text it to whatever the number is, and then you hit add and you follow the prompts.
Well, it's a gift from my parents because they want to get a hold of us, and I never have my phone. I don't pay attention to it, you know. So they said we're going to give you these phones and we're going to pay for them so we can get a hold of you when we want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fine. That sounds fine. I'm okay with that. Thank you.
Because they do have a website, but their website's wonky as heck. I hate their website.
It was not helpful. It really wasn't.
I was like during COVID, it sucked. Like
okay. Oh, go ahead. During COVID, it sucked.
Well, no. Like everything until COVID hit, everything was great. I had no problem with the website. And then COVID's like, here, I can buy a new card for my program, for my account here. I can just, instead of going to go to Walmart, I'll just go buy a card in there. And then it's like, yeah, cannot process, error. And I was just like, I'm done. I just go. Eventually, everything opened up. I said, I just go to the store now. It's. I avoid the website. I hate the way. It shouldn't be that way, but that's how poor the customer service is when it comes to that stuff. That's why I always make sure that
that's just the way it is now. I mean, it's impossible to get a hold of anybody. Why is it like this?
And if you do get hold of anybody, guess what? They're out of the country.
Yeah. Okay. I can't.
Are we dreaming, Jackson? Or is Jackson dreaming us? You're both wrong. Welcome to my nightmare.
Welcome to my nightmare.
I knew it.
I think you're gonna like it. Yeah. I think you're gonna feel right at home. All righty, kiddies. Yeah. Like I said, I got a couple of things here to do. You want to look at some books. You want to look at the Christmas movies and talk about them. I am A-okay with either one. I don't understand why I can't shrink this shit down. And how do you do that? I just want to shrink this down a little bit so I can see the comment section at the same time I'm dealing with this.
How I get by that? Well, obviously you can't do it because I use a phone. I use my smartphone. I look at the comments from my phone. So on the top 5, you look down. Where's he looking at? I'm looking at my phone. It's like I can address the comments because if I'm sharing, like I'm on Firefox, it shares the whole entire screen. Or Chrome, it does the tab only.
Okay. See, it goes to this and it says it's sharing and all, but it just shows these and I can't get away from this particular.
That looks like I don't know what's going on. Well, send me the tier list. Maybe I can do it.
Oh,
that might be easier.
Because this was going to be more of I was going to.
Because right now it's hiding. It's showing you the movie. There it goes.
Yeah, but now I can't see the comments.
Well, yeah, that's the whole. Yeah, unfortunately, I have. So usually I have.
Go ahead.
The way I get around that, I have 2 browser windows open.
Oh wow, Chrome? Maybe I'll do the Katie Keene then one slick. Yeah, that he says that King Kong goes for 25 to 35. It's not in mint condition.
You know, I was
but I
shocked.
saw it and I thought it would be really cool.
I was shocked that the Cassandra Cain issue, like her first appearance, is going under $100.
Well, she hasn't really been used too much, to tell you the truth. But...
she's like used in every freaking like Batgirl's book. So I'm surprised like her first appearance wouldn't be. But then again, these people probably just don't care because no one's really buying those books.
All right, I guess I'll have to rely. Now this is my gathering. Feel free to comment and on everything when everybody gets in. If y'all want to switch up, I'm fine with it. Are we
the fellowship?
Yeah, you're the fellowship. So if you,
I am not doing freaking walking.
All I'm asking is if you could check out comments and everything. I'm going to start right off. The first one, and this is, by the way, every Christmas movie or I think some specials made it on here. It had to be 42 minutes. Why 42 minutes? Because that's the shortest feature film I've ever seen. That would be Saludos Amigos. It's from Disney, so I figured if they could call that a movie, I could call a Christmas special.
I'm noticing though that there is no animated.
There's quite a few animateds.
Okay, you have guys. Yeah, I saw. There's no Garfield.
Oh no, it's one. Okay, here are the rules. Here were the rules I followed when it came to. I'll pop in right. Here were the rules I had to follow. 1, I had to have seen it. 2, I have to remember it because I want to say why I put it wherever I put it. So and let me tell you, there are any number of Hallmark Christmas movies I've seen and completely forgot about because they are the same movie. There's a whole bunch of probably like Heathcliff and High and Lois, Family Circus. They all had Christmas specials, but I never ever remember them.
So the two biggest for me growing up was Charlie Brown and Garfield.
There you go. Also, I did, because it was movies, I did keep it to 42 minutes or longer, which Charlie Brown's the greatest thing ever about Christmas ever, in my opinion, but it's not a movie.
I like 30 minutes or less.
And by the way, Eric, I don't know if you saw the title of this.
Yeah, I did.
But this is a Christmas Eve hangout with our musical guest, Eric Breen. So many people are here waiting to hear your warbling editions of many of our favorite.
I'm just waiting for the Saturday TV Funhouse.
And he is silent.
They're going to be waiting. And waiting.
Alrighty, but there you go. And then, of course, the rule was whatever I want. So there you go.
Eric,
if you've seen a movie, by all means, comment, and I'll place them. And there you go.
Yeah, Eric, what was for dinner?
Chicken with roast potatoes.
Ooh.
There's something that
skin on or skin off.
The potatoes on. There's the Kroger. Kroger has a thing called Home Chef.
Yes.
And that's there are 2 meals that they do that I really love. That's one of them. The other one they never have.
They sell the russet. They sell their little baby russet potatoes, the gold ones stuff. You can the produce in your microwave. They have those.
Or we could just talk comics. I have no clue what I'm doing today. Hey, Dalton, what's up?
Not much. How is everybody else doing today?
Oh, we're just peachy. I'm peachy keen. I'm in a great mood. As I was pointing out earlier, Hans Gruber is almost hitting the pavement. So
where did you get that?
Oh, I got this about 2 months ago, and I was going to put it for sale in the booth. And
where did you buy it though?
Timu. So, yeah, but
I've never seen that. So I was like, Walmart's got that. I'm going right now.
No. I thought, oh wow, I could probably get $8 to $10 off that. Sure, fuck yeah. And then I just looked at it and said, "Nah, it's too cool. I'm keeping it."
It was like a digital thing. So every day you drop a little further.
Somewhere I've got some Wonder Woman socks that my mom sent because she wanted to help us with the the booths and everything. So she ordered some stuff for Gail's booth and Elizabeth. They got a booth themselves, and she sent a whole bunch of stuff. And I looked in, and there's some Wonder Woman character socks. You know, I like the character socks.
I know.
As a matter of fact, I got some for myself, and you got the Masters of the Universe. So yeah, a lot of fun. And yes, of course, you know the Ghostbuster socks, which I never intended for you. I was just, these are they were always being mine.
That's the story you're going with. That's where you're going to be with these Scum of the Earth.
Yeah. Wait, what? What story am I going with? Depends on what my lawyers say. No. Somebody asked for Dalton last night. Your wish is granted, says Jackson, which is true. Somebody said, you know, you should have Dalton on more often. And to which Venkman was like,
there are laws that we can only have them on.
I suppose it's true. Absence does make the heart grow fonder.
You know what? We like you. We want to love you. Get out. No.
They miss the abuse.
Black Spider said, funny, I like character socks too. Me too. Let me ask you something, because I know I should pin them together, tie them together, whatever, but I don't. And I got to tell you, I have about 20 mismatch pairs. I have lost the left sock on almost every pair of character
you solve
socks.
That? Just buy all white socks.
So I don't like doing that. But there have been times where I went out with like Batman and Catwoman, and they're two different socks. But you know, it kind of it matches. I'm okay with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Couple's costume.
Exactly.
My life.
Right?
It is, isn't it? How are you doing, Eric?
Ask me again 3 minutes ago.
How are you doing 3 minutes ago, sir?
But before the sock folly started.
I almost want Eric to go start doing singing now, because that'll kill the pain.
It's not the most disturbing thing with feet that can be discussed on the internet, Eric.
No, you put them on the auction all the time.
So I found a couple of books that I was thinking of bringing back the wheel, and one of them was 1970s King Kong storybook. And then one slick noticed that as a $25 to $35 book. And I've got Katie Keene. This is America's Pinup Queen. And this is a trade paperback from 2019. So it's not too long ago. There you go. I might do this one as the giveaway. Yeah. And I actually have damn near the entire auction all set up and ready to go. And I've got the tier list for Christmas movies I was going to talk about. I did get caught up in trying to hook up my phone, which went nowhere. I think Venkman's right. After Christmas, I'll go up to Walmart and get it hooked up.
As long as it's a phone they sell, right? You know, it's what is it?
It's track phone. I think they do. I don't know where my mom.
It's not a straight talk. It's a track phone.
But it said, follow these instructions, and we're going to make it impossible.
Okay, so if you have there should be a track phone card then comes with it.
I got one of these, but when I put in the numbers, it said that.
Okay, so basically, what you need to go buy an activation card.
Oh, because there was no activation.
There's no points card. It'd be a blue card, and that's why because you need in order to put minutes on it.
Yeah, well, she said she was just going to pay for it, but the thing is, there was none of that. I mean, I got this thing here, but it's instructions on how to get movie shit.
She sent you a brick. She didn't actually give you a card.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, so it's supposed to come. You're supposed to go buy it separately a 200 minutes card.
Yeah.
Or 200 minutes, and I can tell you this: track phones. They eat your minutes. It's not like where I have. Mine is basically I pay $55 a month, and I have unlimited. Your base is the more you can use your minutes up. If you buy 20 minutes,
I don't like those kind of phones. I like the ones like I had where it was.
So whatever she talked about, if she got you a track phone like that, she's gonna have to keep wiring you money.
Yeah, that's the plan. You could buy the monthly plan online. Yeah, I don't know how to even get this thing started because it tells me before you do, you have to identify yourself. So we're sending it to the number that doesn't work, which was the whole reason you got the new phone. It's ridiculous. It truly is. Merry Christmas, Dark, and hello to Ollie. That's from MK, and hello and Merry Christmas to everybody. This is don't know what's going on in the next couple of days, so this is our hangout. We're going to do whatever the hell and enjoy. Patient and considerate. Dalton is making me nervous. Oh, one thing. Did you get a haircut?
Yeah, a while ago.
It's inside the hat. You can't see it.
No, I did get a haircut, but I got it like several months ago.
Well, it's stuck. I didn't remember.
Yeah, I don't have my locks back just yet. It'll be another year or so before I am once again looking a little bit more like Randall Flagg.
I would say, you know what? It's a good look for you, man, with the shorter hair. It works.
No, yeah. I miss my longer hair. It's just after a while it gets so that it dries out and then it starts like breaking off and then it doesn't look good anymore. So it's like, well, screw it. Now I have to cut it.
All right, I have an Obama free phone, unlimited text and calls. I think 3K.
You're gonna have like the Jewish little braids coming down. Little.
Yeah, you should just do that so you look Hasidic.
Amish paradise, bro.
Yeah. All right, so what are we doing today? Y'all want to start off with some Christmas movie talking, or what?
I thought you were doing a tier list.
All righty, yeah, I put together this tier list. This is everything. If you guys have something to say it. If you have a favorite or a least, if you think, as a matter of fact, I didn't plan on the vote, but go on ahead. First one I start off with that I saw. Am I sharing this or no?
You're not sharing anything.
I am a dumbass.
You have yet to share screen. Please do so. I
am a dumbass today. It's been that's just the kind of day. Yeah, shut up. Yeah, All I Want for Christmas, 1990s. I believe this is one of Thora Birch's first films and Ethan Embry. This was a lot of fun.
So we're not voting on it. It's just you just telling us what you like.
If you guys have you seen it, that's the whole problem with this.
Yeah, I kind of hope we were going to do like our top 10s or something.
Do the top 10. I am A-okay with anything. I could do this any day. I can do this after too. But by all means, because I am not prepared for shit. That's all I know.
Neither was I. I wasn't expecting a top 10 either.
Oh, by the way, Hallmark Christmas rom-coms are the only movies worth what? There's 136 MK. Those were the ones I watched, and I can remember there's a lot of those Hallmark movies I have no freaking clue of. Seriously, it's just, oh my God, there are 40 movies on that list. It'll be Easter before we finish. That's why I thought of doing it originally as a solo project, because that's the whole thing. But
Hallmark movies are unfortunately rather interchangeable, especially the Christmas ones.
There are some, but there are some Hallmark movies that made the list. There was one with Amy Smart. She played the mom in Stargirl, and it was Groundhog Day on Christmas. Where she relived the same thing.
Yeah, the recycling stick.
Yeah, I've noticed they've done quite a few of those. But that was a Hallmark one. It's called 12 Dates of Christmas, and it worked. Oh, and what's his name from the Saved by the Bell? He's in it.
There are a couple.
Zack. He played Zack in it. Yeah.
I know who you mean, but his actor name escapes me.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Zack. Did he have a white hood?
Rankin and Bass there. The list is nearly complete. Well, yeah, actually, I did have all the Rankin and Bass. When it comes to Rankin and Bass, most of them I got. Like the Little Drummer Boy, Nestor, the Christmas Donkey. If I could get around to them, I will. But it is absolute must for. I would have to go with the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Santa Claus is Coming to Town. but mostly A Year Without a Santa Claus. We
Well,
cannot miss A Year Without a Santa.
I am probably one of the only people on this planet who prefers the animated 1998 Rudolph to the Rankin and Bass one.
Probably so. Yes. Let's see. 9 out of 10 of every Hallmark Christmas movies are the same general plot. Yeah, business person, be it man or woman, goes to small town they never like to talk about that they grew up in. They meet old boyfriend, girlfriend from high school. They teach them the joys of small town life. Christmas ensues.
Yep.
Yeah, that is probably at least about 70% of the plots. The other one is miserable career woman falls in love with a nonconformist ne'er-do-well who then teaches her to loosen up. And then Christmas ensues.
Of course, yeah.
There was one where they do a George Bailey one. I've seen that with a girl where she's no longer married, and then she sees her husband with somebody else, and then she just wants that old life back.
Have you ever seen It's a Wonderful Knife? That's on that's on Amazon now. It's got Justin Long in it. It is funny. Yay, someone else who knows it. Oh, The Life and Adventures of Santa Claus. I don't think I've ever. I probably have seen that one. It's just
the animated one from the 2000s. I also really like that one.
Yeah,
or I think it actually was from the year 2000, if I'm not entirely mistaken.
Alrighty. Okay, so I mean, hey, if you want to get into a top 10 or anything, I mean, this would be off the.
I'm making my list here, but I'm also going with my own rules. So what I consider a Christmas movie is my Christmas movie. So
yeah, whatever you. How about just Christmas movie, Christmas special, or whatever you watch on Christmas?
Okay.
That is an easy way to go about it. But yeah, this one's going to be a loose because
Goose.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a bit. Let's see, because we're the favorite version of Christmas Carol. What is your favorite version of a Christmas Carol?
Muppet.
1984 George C. Scott one. That's mine.
Alrighty, and mine is Muppets.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, I am actually very happy with the way that. I love the fact that Michael Caine played it completely straight because he thought, you know, the Muppets were going to be silly. So if he plays it completely straight,
he's going to be the straight man. Yeah.
But
yeah, and it absolutely works.
If I can
say again,
I would include actually the Ghostbusters episode with the Christmas Carol one because they did an episode of that.
I would have to say my favorite straightforward telling. I might get strangled for this one. You guys might not like this answer, but it's the Jim Carrey animated, the Disney one they made a little bit of back.
Oh God, the motion capture.
Yeah, but you know what? Who cares? Technology improves. What is important though is that is one of the most faithful to the book adaptations.
Actually, the one I like the best is
they
the one we did show.
Oh, go ahead.
We had drunk James Mason reading a Scrooge.
They did throw in some flourishes, but overall that is a very faithful story.
I liked some of the conceptual things they did in that.
By the way, that's also one of the most faithful to the book versions, is the Alastair Sims.
I can't tell.
Where do you come down on that one, Eric?
I think the only one I've ever seen is the 1938 one.
Oh, I guess he's stepped away.
So he's getting ready to drop. He can't hear us. He's been doing this. That's all. I'm
trying to make the list as we go.
You heard me, right, Venk?
By all means, keep the questions coming.
He can't hear you because he's getting a job.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are good. It's definitely not a faithful adaptation.
Yes,
and there he goes.
Are you wearing ladies' undergarments again?
Meet Dalton. I'm not wearing any ladies' clothes at all. Not today.
You don't need to know what I'm wearing beyond the usual top hat and bow tie.
No, I just wanted to say crazy things to E while he was disappearing.
Yeah.
Because you
but I'm surprised you haven't seen more versions of A Christmas Carol than just the 38 one.
Scrooge is really good too. I like that.
Well, this year I watched 13 Christmas movies, which is probably the most I've ever watched in a year because I tend to just turn on a game and read.
Yep.
So I don't watch it. It's one of the things about living alone. You kind of like having when you're watching someone with announcers, you feel like they're in the room with you. You don't get that feeling when you're watching scripted entertainment. It's one of those things, and I've lived alone for half my life.
I can see that.
Well, hello, Florida man. Are you back?
I am back. I was writing stuff down for the top 10. What I'm thinking of are the movies that are left that we have not yet watched.
Oh, you gotta watch Yogi's First Christmas.
Yogi's First, yeah. Well, the thing is, we always save what is considered the best for last.
Well, I'm kind of curious to see what some of you guys come up with. So let's go.
Let's go. Okay, I've got 3 more I have to put down here, and
I'm surprised they list Serendipity as being a Christmas movie.
Well, here's the thing I noticed. A lot of people are going because of the Die Hard thing. I think if it has a scene that takes place in Christmas, it's automatically a Christmas movie now, which is stupid. Psycho is not a Christmas movie because when she's driving through the city, there's Christmas decorations.
I have to be a little bit more hardline up myself. I even push back a little bit on the Die Hard thing. Like I know, like you can make the thematic argument at least a little bit, but in my opinion, it's not a Christmas movie unless it's actually about Christmas in some fashion.
Well, I guess Serendipity is, like I said, the whole thing is about a guy who finds a glove and he's trying to meet the girl, and it takes place right around during Christmas. That's the whole thing. So they don't celebrate Christmas, but it's right around Christmas.
Well, okay. Here's another question then. Citizen Kane is all about somebody's nostalgia for their childhood sled. Does that make Citizen Kane a Christmas movie? The answer is no by every stretch of the imagination, but someone would probably argue that.
Does it take, well, okay, here's the thing. Is it a Christmas movie to you? It makes your list. I get that. But what I'm saying is Mean Girls is not a Christmas movie. There is a scene that takes place on Christmas where they do the Christmas show. Not a Christmas movie. But, however, you could say Die Hard is a Christmas movie because not only does it take place on Christmas Day, but a lot of the musical cues and a lot of the theme has Christmas music in it. So that has a stronger case for being a Christmas movie than, let's say, like I said, just a movie that happens. Goodfellas, by the way. It shows after they do the Lufthansa, he comes in, I got one of those big aluminum ones, with a Christmas tree. Not a Christmas movie. It's got, but the thing is people are adding these things into. I noticed that when I was looking for Christmas movies and putting them on my tier list, because Goodfellas was in there. Like, wait a second, it had one scene.
Die Hard opened the door and then a bunch of people ran through it.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah, it just that's the way I see it anyway.
It's funny you guys bring up that, but you don't even talk about Lethal Weapon.
Well, the Lethal Weapon, a lot of people do that. They bring up Die Hard, but Lethal Weapon takes place on Christmas as well. The one thing, once again, that I would go with Die Hard over Lethal Weapon as a Christmas movie is that once again, the music is intertwined as well as a lot of the themes and such that go through it. So
I mean, it's not a Christmas
question. Gremlins. Where do we stand on the Gremlins question vis-a-vis Christmas movie or not?
Well, considering its placement, I would say it's absolutely a Christmas movie. Yes.
I mean, it's not Christmas until you watch Mel Gibson put a gun in his mouth while he's watching the Bugs Bunny Christmas.
Of course, yes. I mean, Bugs Bunny makes people, yeah. And it's up to you guys for your list. I mean, this is the way it is, right?
Harry Potter's not a Christmas movie. Thank you.
although I will say this for Harry Potter, and this is the last compliment you will ever hear me give that freaking series because I hate that freaking series, but they are very good at channeling holiday atmosphere in the scenes that relate to holidays.
Alrighty.
There you go. And can somebody at least
Okay.
pick up the ref?
Yes.
When
The
Ricochet
ref
knocked
is
him over.
fucking awesome, and it is a Christmas movie. Oh, goodness gracious!
It's
There
only
are two.
do you watch Collision, Breen?
Sometimes.
Oh, I was gonna say because that was the whole thing with Ricochet versus Ospreay. He pushed the ref in the ropes to cause Ospreay to get knocked over.
Okay, now I decided I'm not including the Charlie Brown special on mine because I want to stick to movies. But Charlie Brown special is absolutely the greatest Christmas anything, in my opinion. Before we get started, I did open my first Christmas present this year, and I've got some. I don't know to whom they are going.
Your
but,
first?
Say again.
You opened up your first or bought your first?
No, I opened it. Dominic has asked me if I could ship along some Christmas presents to you guys because I've got all the addresses.
Because technically, I'm the one that sent you the first one.
Oh, that is correct. Yes, thank you very much for it. Yes, this would be the second then. But you know, on my, and by the way, ignore all of the mess you're about to see, but on my trade paperback shelf right there next to my bathroom is Showcase Presents. That's the only thing I collect anymore that I'm not selling anymore. That's my collection. You know, I don't own a lot of stuff. I decided that is it. That's going to be what I collect, even as far as trade paperbacks. And he got me one of the hardest ones to get. It's Side the Rockets Volume 3 too. These are rough. So I was very happy with this. That is pretty damn cool. And yeah, he's got something for some of us. So there you go. I think
I like stop motion Ingleton. This is awesome.
I know, right? I don't know what the fuck is going on here,
Just
but
put one
here you
foot
go.
in front of the other.
And soon you'll be walking out the door. Put one foot in. Come on, Eric. We promised.
Oh, it's getting wavy.
In front of the other.
You already messed it up. It's walking across the floor first, then out the door at the end.
I don't care. I don't. Just have fun with it, dude. Charlie Brown, Garfield, He-Man, She-Ra, California Raisin, says Dark Admiral. And Merry Christmas in 2 days, says Dave S.
We should be on number 5 or 6 by then.
Okay, yes. But yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've got, and by the way, I've also got comics to show. So there's a lot of stuff. I might do another live stream tomorrow just to get some of this out there. All right, let's go. You mentioned, by the way, I'll start off. You mentioned a movie. It is my number 10 film. And it actually, by the way, did not come out on Christmas time. As a matter of fact, after the Christmas season and attached to a lot of Christmas movies of the time, movies that were out on Christmas, you would see Dennis Leary sitting up there saying, there's not going to be any Cindy Lou Who, blah, 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 yada, yada. And he did his Dennis Leary skit and announced The Ref. This is a movie me and Gail always watch. It is a lot of fun. It's funny as hell. And more so, we quote this movie to each other all the time. If you guys haven't seen it, The Ref is Dennis Leary plays a thief. He's robbing a big mansion. He gets, he sets off an alarm, gets covered in cat piss. And in order to get away from the cops, he kind of kidnaps Kevin Spacey and his wife and holds them hostage until he could get a ride out. It is absolutely entertaining. It's funny as hell. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it, it is definitely worth the rental. It's definitely worth the own to me. But there you go. Going clockwise, Eric.
Okay. Yeah, I based this on some of the movies I may like better than other ones that are higher on this list, but I kind of put the Christmas part. So my number 10 is Bell, Book, and Candle. Even though the Christmas portion of the movie is early in the movie, something about that movie I just always loved. It's very atmospheric all the way through. And it's something I watch every year.
I mean, I can't very easily argue with you because I freaking love that movie, but it probably wouldn't make it onto my list just on the basis of the proportion of it that is Christmassy, as opposed to the proportion that
that's fair. But
once again, let everybody's Christmas movie be a Christmas movie.
Just something I watch every year, so it makes the list. It just made the list. VENKMAN.
By the way, I watched Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe and Harry Potter during Christmas season. There's only one scene. Anyway,
I can see that,
Dalton,
especially with the sort of Santa acting as Q in Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Dalton, number 10.
Number 10 for me is one that probably a lot of people haven't heard of, but Santa's Sleigh. It's the one where apparently Santa is a demon who lost a bet with an angel, and his punishment was that he had to be a Yuletide gift giver for 1,000 years, and then in the course of the movie, the contract term rolls up, and he finally gets to let off some steam. It's a bit of a dark comedy one, but I enjoy dark comedies, and it's one, like I say, that doesn't get mentioned a lot. So there it is.
Watched
10.
it 2 nights ago. It is a stupid slasher, like you said, slasher comedy, and it's thoroughly enjoyable. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, no, it is. It is very stupid dark comedy, but at the same time, that's why it's 10.
You know, Santa used to be the Santa in that movie used to be the top wrestler in the world.
I vaguely have recollections of that. I don't have much stake in professional wrestling, but I do have vague recollections of that. Yes.
RDV number 9.
He didn't do 10, did he?
No.
Oh, number 10. 10, yes.
Number 10 is for me is Noelle, the Anna Kendrick one. Came out in 2019.
Really?
I like that movie. She's hot.
I have not seen that one.
She's a pretty lady. Yeah.
And then you also have Hader. I remember his first name.
Bill Hader's
Bill Hader, yeah. And basically Santa's kids, are the son of the family takes over becoming the new Santa, and Bill Hader doesn't want something to do with it. It's too much pressure. Doesn't want to do it. Or Anna says, "Well, I'll do it," but when you're like, "No," because you're a girl, they won't let you do it. It's one of those movies. Take it with a grain of salt, but she goes and she looks for him, and then at the end they end up just basically becoming like co-Santa, or at least helping out. She finds her place because she just basically got tired of being, like Hermie. He wanted to be a dentist. He didn't want to be a certain thing, and it's the same vein. She didn't want to be what she was going to be, helper. But it turned out to be a really good movie.
Dentist and not an elf because he wasn't an elf.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay. I saw that movie a little bit ago.
Yeah, I remember it came out. A lot of people were like, I remember you not really liking it as much as I did.
Yeah, I didn't care for it, but hey, it, like I said, you like what you like at Christmas. It's your
at
Christmas.
My 10. It goes either between 11 or 10. My movies interchange.
Mm-hmm. All righty. My number 9 is also kind of it was mentioned, and it's Christmas adjacent, and that is Gremlins. This is a movie me and Gail also all 10 of these are have to watch in my opinion. I do, however, get more fun out of Gremlins 2 than I do out of the first one, but I do think Gremlins is the better movie. And I watched it first time. I was about 15 when it first came out, and saw it in the theaters. Had a blast. A couple of nights ago, I mentioned we always bring up Ripley and what's her name in Terminator 2? Sarah Connor, the chick from Firefly. We always River Tam, whatever her name was.
Yeah, River. Yeah.
We always bring them up when we talk about genre tough ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Am I here still?
You are.
Hey, dumbass, can you hear me?
You are here for however much longer you have.
I'm not. I feel like I'm drinking, but I'm not. I think he moves his head. He goes like those crowd dancers that they have, the little wind dancer socks, inflatables at the car dealerships. They go back.
Yeah, good God, we've got one next to the store right now, and every time you open the door, you can't hear the music. But yes, he does look like that's what seems like. That's what see him flail his arms around.
I know, right? That's all I want to do. He might just have to reset his router, but I think his router's probably dying. I don't think it's the internet.
Yeah, that probably is at least a factor.
Mine.
I don't think this would be happening as regularly as it does if it were the internet connection. I think it would be hard for him to connect in the first place.
Yep.
But I don't think it would go intermediate like this. I think it is probably the modem.
He emptied all his. I got an external hard drive so he can take all the memory off his computer, and so which he did. So it's not as he has too much memory. It's his either his internet card, because he said he's doing wireless now. He doesn't have Ethernet in there.
He needs to get an Ethernet cable. That will make quite a lot of difference.
Yeah, but
if somebody wants to send E a Christmas gift this year, Ethernet cable.
What do I know? Stupid question on my part. Is he connected with an internet cable? No, he said I asked him about that. He said he's wireless. Man, I'm going through his list again. I'm like, All Dogs Go to Heaven had a Christmas special. Wow,
It did. Do you not know about the They basically treat Scarface like Ebenezer Scrooge in that one, I do believe.
I've never watched it. Right. There's a lot of stuff. I'm nice. You're gonna say Little Mermaid had a Christmas special.
No, but Beauty and the Beast did.
See, I watched the movies when in the early '90s, and then I didn't really go back and watch a lot of Disney stuff.
He's usually back. Oh, there he is.
Okay, I bought myself an Ethernet cable. I just attached it, so hopefully that shit don't happen again.
Wow, that was a quick gift. Dalton said you so much to send it to him. He sent it to himself.
Yeah, I literally mentioned to the chat as you were cutting out that if anybody wants to give E a Christmas gift this year, Ethernet cable.
And I was just saying,
I bought it earlier, and I just threw the bag. Like we were out, I just threw the bags onto a big.
You are looking magnifique now. You're not doing the wave.
I'm not doing the thing. Yeah. So I plugged it in. I hope everything is a-okay. I'm sick and tired of that. What?
I said, and he's gone.
And I'm yeah, but there you go. Okay, so yeah, I remember seeing this in the theaters and loving it. By the way, I would watch anything with what's her name?
Good night, boy.
What the fuck's her name? I am so bad with my memory.
With Phoebe Cates?
Phoebe Cates, yeah. Oh my Lord in heaven. Woo. But yeah, it was thoroughly entertaining. I love it. And you know what? I told Gail that I'm like 40 years later, and you're just noticing, or I guess it would be 35 years later, and you didn't know this. I said, you do know that's Flo, right? Who plays the the bad lady? She was like,
"Wait,
no.
Flo from the Progressive commercials?
No,
Alice,
from the TV
waitress.
show Alice. Kiss my grits."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was like,
I was very confused there for a second. I was like,
it was kind of funny because we've watched this movie at least 35 times, and a lot of people don't think about this when you mention your favorite movies or movies you've seen the most. You hardly bring Christmas into it at all. But Christmas movies, you've probably, if you are a religious Christmas movie watcher, you have your list. Christmas movies are probably among the movies you've seen the most if you're old enough.
Halloween movies are the same way, and people probably don't think about that either.
Yeah, and yeah, Gremlins. I probably have seen this movie 35 times because every year I watch it religiously, just like the rest of the movies on this list. You could tell just basically by where everything is. So yeah, how old is that movie? Whenever, like the older ones, of course, it's whenever I discovered it.
But who has reindeer games on their list?
Ben Affleck. That's about it. Yeah. All righty. You know what? I'm gonna continue the clockwise thing. So if you don't mind, Eric, RDV, you go with your number 9, and then we'll.
My
we'll
number 9, because I've been editing my list while you've been doing this stuff. My number 9 is actually Muppet Christmas Carol. It's a little higher up, and because now that I've been watching some of these older movies, I get recency bias. So I still appreciate it. I mean, Muppet Christmas Carol holds a place in my heart, just like Otter's Christmas. You know,
Emmett Otter. Yeah.
Yeah, Emmett Otter. Yeah, I like that. You know. And same with the Fozzie Bear, when they have like the Fraggle Rock, the Sesame Street guys, and the Muppets all go to
the Muppet Family Christmas.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called. Amazing. I just know, but yeah. But I mean, like, you got Sprock. Everything was there. It's such an awesome movie. But Muppet Christmas Carol, as you said, it is just awesome to see. You know, Michael Caine just being serious, and then you have like I quote all the time. I was quoting the other night. It's the American way. No. It's the British way.
British way.
But my favorite part of the whole entire movie is not even Michael Caine or Scrooge. It's just Gonzo and Lizzo.
Gonzo and Rizzo, not Lizzo, by the way.
Yeah.
It's Rizzo the rat and Lizzo the fat. They're two different things.
I know. But light the lamp, not the rat. Light the lamp, not the rat. And like I said, my favorite part is like that. But my favorite the whole entire movie is where he lands on the chickies, hot foot, as his rotisserie. Like, that's all I need to see is that every year, and I'm good. But that's why it's pushed back, because I have watched new movies, so it's at number 9.
Okay, and Eric, what's your number 9?
My number 9, again, even though this is in my top 5 all time as a Christmas movie, it's farther down the list because it's, again, kind of falls in that Bell Book and Candle category. It's The Apartment.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would not count that as a Christmas movie, but it's your Christmas.
Well,
so.
If you go onto the lists of top Christmas movies, it's on all of them. So apparently other people agree that it's close enough. And it's just one of those that, like I said, it's a terrific movie. And there's just enough of it centered around the holidays. Yeah, so when I think of Christmas movies, I kind of think like holiday. If it goes Christmas through New Year's, and that kind of is where The Apartment fits in, because basically the entirety of the movie takes place in that week, more or less. So yeah, it's anybody hadn't seen it, Jack Lemmon, Shirley MacLaine, Fred McMurray as a lech. And some of the side characters, Larry Tate from Bewitched, my favorite Martian, and Warden Crichton from Batman are the other lecherous dudes that borrows Jack Lemmon's apartment in the movie to take the women they're cheating on their wives with. So it's very well done, and I think that's pretty much the movie that shot. Finally, that's where Jack Lemmon solidified himself as movie star. And it's a Billy Wilder movie, so you can't go wrong there.
All righty. Dalton, you're number 9.
In the continuing tradition of obscure movies people probably won't have heard of, Unaccompanied Minors.
I've heard of this one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's right now with the homestead security, right? They're trafficking people. Go ahead.
Go on ahead, please. Yes.
Sorry. Venkman once again broke my brain momentarily. But if you haven't seen it, it's a movie where some kids, I believe they're orphans, although I might be misremembering that, are stuck in an airport around the holidays. And it does turn into a kids do shenanigans and raise hell movie, because that was a thing every movie had to have for a bit there. But it is a movie that both centers on Christmas but also is focused on like sort of the darker side of it, and it's one that a lot of people probably haven't heard of, so it went on the list.
Okay.
Well, the reason I brought that up because that's actually what they're doing right now with the kids. You hear about that all the time on social media, where they're
I saw unaccompanied minors. Didn't take, but glad you liked it there.
I ended up watching it in the theater with my aunt when it came out, so it has a little bit of that nostalgia factor for me. And it also, I believe, is one of the few movies where Miranda Cosgrove tried to make it into the actual big screen for like a hot minute.
Hey, whatever makes you enjoy the holidays. That's basically what we're celebrating here.
I know
my number 8. There are few who would deny it. What I do, I am the best. For my talents are renowned far and wide. There is an argument where some people who are wrong say that this is a Halloween film. Not 1 second of this takes place on Halloween. It's all about stealing Christmas, and it's a Nightmare Before Christmas.
My friend, you are also wrong because it is both.
It is not both. It is a Christmas movie.
It functions as both.
Redemption story.
I feel like
functions as both.
Queenstown. It is a Christmas movie.
I'll just say this. I'll just say
you are wrong.
Okay, RDV.
People can like it for whatever reasons or don't like it. I'll just say it for me. Even though it's not on Halloween Day, but they're in a Halloween world. And they go into a Christmas
it takes place in Halloween Town, but it is a Christmas movie.
To me, it's not Christmas or Halloween. It's just basically they're going into a Christmas world, and then there's a Halloween world.
Okay, so first of all, when this movie came out, I know I mentioned it a lot. I was projectionist for this, and I saw it, and I was telling people, "Holy crap, you guys got to watch this movie! It's claymation. It's like the Rudolph special and all that kind of stuff." And my friends went and saw it. The people I worked with went and saw it, and they freaking hated it.
What?
My friend, a friend of mine actually said it was slow. And I said, what are you talking about? It was like 70 minutes. It's not even a long movie. And he says, and that just makes it worse. 5 years later, all of them are talking about how wonderful this film is.
Okay, yeah. How on earth does one watch Nightmare Before Christmas and not immediately fall in love with the dang thing?
It was not a huge hit when it came out, but I watched it. I love the music. I love the way it looks. The direction is great. Not Tim Burton. A lot of people think it is. Not Tim Burton.
It's Henry Selick, who also was famous for doing Coraline later.
Yeah, it is. It's a fantastic movie, as everybody knows now. I flat out enjoy it, and yes, that is my favorite song in the movie. It's not "What's This? What's This?" It's his Jack's. It's called Jack's Lament, where he's basically talking about how he's lost his faith in Halloween and because he's too good at it. There's no challenge.
It's too easy. It all comes too naturally to him, and now it's boring.
I'd rather watch Flubber with Rob Williams.
I will say that for me, the song "What's This" is my favorite from that movie, and that's because every year on Christmas morning, that is the song that runs through my head as I'm opening presents. So that might just be a me bias thing.
Oh, thank you. It's stop motion. Thank you, Maranya. Stop motion. Not the biggest fan of Nightmare, but there's parts I enjoy. Says Dark Adam. Rhaegar doesn't like it, but it hit with me.
That wasn't Rhaegar though. Learn to read.
It hit with me immediately. RDV, what is your number 8?
I apologize to Dark Admiral March Hare for calling you Rhaegar. But I don't know why he did that.
Did I call you Rhaegar? RDV. Yeah.
No, you called him Rhaegar.
Who? Dark Admiral?
Yeah. He just read up his comment, and you said Rhaegar does not like it.
He's old. His eyes are not what they used to be.
That's what I read.
Yeah.
So
my defense, that was already past. That's gone.
Okay. No worries. What is your number 8?
My number 8 for tonight is Scrooge.
Great movie.
I even got the little ornament it comes with the collection. It's just a fun movie. It's no secret that I'm a Bill Murray fan. I'm a little biased, so I like to watch a lot of his movies. To me, he'll never be as good as Clint Eastwood, but he's got a lot of good movies like Clint Eastwood for me.
Okay.
Like Clint Eastwood is a much higher caliber actor versus Bill Murray. But Bill Murray is more of a comedian style, where some might actually prefer Clint Eastwood, who's more of a serious role. You know what I mean?
There's, I think, a movie called Mad Dog and Glory.
I think it was Mad Dog Times. I was like, I'm out.
No, Mad Dog and Glory. It stars Bill Murray as a mob boss, and I forget who the other guy is, but Uma Thurman is his girlfriend, and the other guy falls in love with her.
Wasn't it De Niro?
It is really Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro.
Yeah, playing against type.
Bill Murray's the mob boss, and it works. He's a good actor. I actually remember one time we were talking about movies, me and Rob, and I said, pound for pound, Bill Murray's like one of the best entertainers out there, and he disagreed with me. I thought it was like, yeah, okay.
Like I said, you got Karen Allen, you got Bobcat Goldthwait. It's just like that guy's a treat, no matter what movie he's in.
Rabbit. Yep.
Well, what was it? Was it? He agreed to make Ghostbusters if he was also allowed to remake. It was an old Somerset Maugham movie that was from the mid '40s, and he did a Razor's Edge.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the stipulation. If they let him make that, he'd make their moneymaker.
He wanted to do some more drama to show his range. Yeah.
Yes.
But
okay, so it just showed me that. Is it my VPN? Because it just said my VPN unconnected and then reconnected, but I didn't drop. I guess because of the thing. So there's something going on. I think I need to stop the VPN. Tell you the truth, I think that's the problem.
Yeah, get UPN.
Yeah, there you go.
Because VPNs scramble your IP address, so that might be part of the problem.
The Scrooge film though, it's fantastic. I do got to admit, I get a little still every time I watch it when he's talking. But there's only one. Great. And he's just going through, and then he goes Claire, and everybody kind of cheers for it. That always kind of hits me right in the good.
John Forsythe is in here too.
John
Mitchum.
Yep.
Yeah. Carol Kane, and she's hilarious. And
she's the best part of the movie. Carol Kane was masterful in this role.
Governorful
in this role. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, loved Scrooge. All right, Eric. Wait, yes, Eric. Number 8.
Okay, my number 8 is The Bishop's Wife.
Oh,
I started watching that 3 years ago. It was one I just never gotten around to.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew from the first time I watched it would definitely become a perennial. And I found it interesting. I learned after I watched this that the original plan was for David Niven to play the angel and for Cary Grant to play the bishop. Fortunately, that was reversed because I couldn't imagine it had been anywhere near as good.
No,
because they were both perfect in their roles. I mean, we would have never known different had it gone the other way, but I can't imagine the movie being as good because, like I said, Cary Grant just has a natural charisma that lent himself to that part, and David Niven can be dour with the best of them, and it worked for the part he was playing.
You need somebody of Cary Grant's charisma, his being as handsome as he was. Yeah. You need somebody like that because the whole point, for those of you who didn't see The Bishop's Wife, the point of this movie, or the story of this movie, is a bishop is trying to expand his church. And he is so caught up in the business end in being a preacher and or a bishop in this case, that he neglects his wife. He asks for help to expand his church, but he prays, by the way, when he talks about expanding his church, and his prayer is, please God, I need help. Please send help. And when he does the prayer, he doesn't specify. And what, goodness gracious, we were just talking about, Cary Grant comes down and he says, you asked for help, I'm here to help. And what Cary Grant does starts flirting with the wife. And so he starts saying, wait a second, you know, and because what he truly needed help wasn't with the church, it was with keeping his marriage together. It's a wonderful film, wonderful film.
And it's a couple of, I said, James Gleason has a couple of really fun scenes in it. And yeah, he's just one of those guys that you may not know the name, but you recognize him when you see, if you watch enough old movies. Yeah, I said, very, very entertaining. That's glad I found it.
Yep, and yeah, Rhaegar, the preacher's wife, was remade with Whitney Houston and Denzel Washington, who is the '90s version. I mean, if you're going to get a guy who you would believe would be able to charm a preacher's wife away from the preacher, it would have to have been Denzel Washington in the '90s. Hell yeah! But yeah, it was good. It's not as good as Bishop's Wife, but I actually thought that was good as well. They did also remember to include a musical segment for Whitney Houston to belt out Joy to the World. What's your number 8, Dalton?
Probably the most recent one anyone's going to mention tonight, Red One.
Really? That movie has been panned by everybody and their brother, and you're like, nope, it's on my top 10. Please
no, and it may well be a recency bias thing, but I like it because it does a lot of interesting things with the Christmas lore, and I do really like that some of the lesser known Yuletide figures, other than Santa Claus, are kind of having a moment in popular culture right now. Krampus, of course, being the main one, but in this movie, Gryla, the Christmas troll, is the villain, and she's played by Kiernan Shipka, who is probably most famous for the starring role in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. And obviously, you've also got the globe-trotting, action adventure buddy cop thing with The The because The Rock is going to play The Rock in every movie he's in, and that's just we're all just gonna have to be happy with it. But yeah, Red One. It's neat.
If you mentioned the Christmas Witch, now I know why you glommed onto it, because it expands on Christmas lore that is already out there. Because a lot of people know Krampus and Santa Claus, but nothing beyond that. So I could see why that would appeal to you. As far as this year, the Christmas movie I want to see again, like literally, I was looking, going, wow, can I stream this somewhere? Was The Greatest Christmas Pageant Ever. I just thought that was an old-fashioned, charming Christmas movie. They kind of did that with a movie that came out recently on Hulu called Nutcrackers. But that one's... Oh, and another good one is one with Danny DeVito. I think... I forget the title. Something like A Serving of Christmas or something like that. As a group, the Santa Claus movies are outstanding, even with all its flaws. Number 3 is better than most modern Christmas-themed movies. Let's see, Santa Claus movie with Kurt Russell is pretty good. Can't remember the name. That would be the Santa Claus Chronicles. It is a lot of fun, and we did watch that. We watched the first one. We didn't watch the second one this year. I think that's making the rounds on mine. I think it's going to be a staple going forward. Maranya brought up the Santa Claus. That is something, since it's my number 7. You talk about little nostalgia pieces and such like that. Number 7 was out the year my daughter was born, and I have watched it with her every year. I
mean, that does make sense, because me and your kids are right around the same age, so that does make sense.
She was born 1994. This movie came out in 1994. And she was a little itty bitty baby when we first saw it. And then every year we have watched it. Now, of course, up until, of course, she moves away. But I like the story. I thought it really wanted to... It's one of those films where it's good for the kids, and parents can get a little something out of it as well. It doesn't go too schmaltzy. There's things to notice after multiple watches. It's fun. It's funny, which I think is important for some if you're going to be doing a family Christmas, make sure that you're getting kids to laugh. And yeah, I really just feel it's one of those movies you get the Christmas spirit out of. And that's why I picked my number 7. RDV, what's your number 7?
All right, my number 7. Well, it's about a kid who was neglected by his parents. He meets his politician, and they just decide to take over Gotham City. It's Batman Returns.
Watched it last night.
I mean, I can't blame you.
It's Christopher Walken. Hey, it's
Max Shrek,
and the hottest Catwoman, other than Julie Newmar.
Yeah, I like the fact you put Julie Newmar first, but she was pretty hot as Catwoman. And the best line is, "Push comes to shove, I'll drop her out a higher window."
Yeah. I forgot that she falls twice. She wants to push out the window, and then she falls the second. And then
she counts down the whole 9 lives. They make sure that every man in that movie had attacked her in some way, shape, or form that made her count down 1 life.
The crack of the whip at the end where Max shoots her with the gun, it's like, she counts it down. I love it. And she's like,
her emotional breakdown scene might be my favorite scene in that entire movie.
I love it.
She gets home and starts talking to the cats, and that is her emotional breakdown.
Welcome to Penguin Vision, where he's got to try the drive, and Penguin's just. I love it. It's just a fun movie. And then the penguins at the end, and just like, I kind of feel bad because like Tim Burton just kills out the penguin then at the end.
Yep.
The
darkness of that film, the gruesome imagery, led to Joel Schumacher making kid films after that.
Yeah, let's
see. The Christmas Chronicles is the name, Admiral. For some reason, you guys said Red One, and I kept thinking about Red Tails. Right. Let's see. I got in trouble in school when I was a kid because we had to do a what I want to be when I grow up. And I wrote George Bailey, and the teacher said I couldn't be. He was fictional. Like, you couldn't see that as inspirational. I don't get that. She was nasty about it, so I told her I wanted to be the devil then, and I'd save her a seat. My parents had to come to the school. The principal laughed. I think I was in the 2nd grade. I got my parents called because I forgot a pencil going to a math test. Said, "Can I borrow a pencil?" And the math teacher was telling me, no, you're just going to have to find out a way. Well, I had cut my arm, and I had a big old scab going right down the arm. And I kept, anybody got it? And he told me, "You can't ask for a pencil." I said, "Well, can I go to my locker?" "You can't ask, so you just got to find a way." I said, "Well, I don't have a pencil. I don't have a pen. I don't have anything to write with." And I looked, and I went, pick. And then I got my parents had to come down because I answered my test in blood. And the only thing I had was a paperclip.
Yeah. If blood is your only ink, you make do with what you have.
They were like, they had psychiatrists and shit coming in, and well, I guess it was like the freaking counselor problem.
Right.
But they were trying to, and what do you really feel? And what do you really think? I really feel he was being an ass. I couldn't say that, but I said, he told me I had to find a way. I had this. I couldn't get a pen. I couldn't get a pencil. I couldn't get up to get anything. So sitting there, I looked, I found what I had to write with, and I wrote with it. Blame him. Don't blame me.
Yeah, I didn't have writing implements. I found a writing implement. Case closed.
but I had to take therapy because they I don't know, maybe they thought I was gonna be like, "Oh, Akbar," and going off on everybody or something. I don't know.
Or the nascent school shooter syndrome.
Yeah. Anywho, all right. Eric Breen, what is your number 7?
You awake, Eric?
All the way up to number 7. It's gonna
Eric, you awake?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not Wednesday yet.
Oh well, that was a long nap period for you over there.
My number 7 is Miracle on 34th Street.
All righty.
It's
The Richard Attenborough 1994 one?
Is that the one with David Hartman?
No.
No.
I prefer Phil Hartman.
I remember that one. I kept expecting him to go, "Duh, good morning." Old people know, all right? Young people, just let us have our thing.
Do you remember the Saturday Night sketch?
And
Because-
Joe Piscopo. Good morning.
Good morning. And then the lady newscaster goes in, there's a small craft warning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, I say it's one more description, and that fits a handful of these coming up. Heartwarming. It's just a very fun movie. It's whimsical. Not a word I use often, but it's fun. It sums up the spirit. It's just what you want in a Christmas movie. And the only reason why it's not higher on the list is because I only started watching it again 2 years ago. But it will definitely, I can't imagine not missing it again. So, but yeah, it's a great movie.
I agree. I will say, don't bother with the 94. That was crap. It was crap. I watched it recently. I was like, I haven't seen this in a long time. It was crap.
As someone who's seen both of them, I hard disagree with you on this.
Okay, what is your number 7 film?
My number 7 is Home Alone, and a lot of people are probably going to be mad that I put it that low, but the second one is better. Is all I'm going to say there.
Wait, you think the second one's better than the first?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because it does what a good sequel should do, which is take what worked in the first one and go bigger.
Okay, alrighty. Yeah, Home Alone, entertaining. I watch it every year. Watch even the second one. I refuse to go further than that.
Everyone with a brain does.
Yeah, I will say this about the second one. Tim Curry is amazing. We laugh all the time. Every time he goes, "We've got the pizza," and he says it just like pizza. It is. Why did you do that? But it was perfect.
Because he's passive aggressively angry that he can't yell at this kid for running them all ragged.
Tim Curry proved how great an actor he is, because Home Alone 2 is not a great script. It is a cut and paste of the first movie. It really is, and he made his character great. Maggie Smith also. Rob Schneider is funny. It does have its good moments. My number 6 is about a guy who never leaves a small town, and he thinks he ended up failing at life. Of course, he's shown what it would be if he was not born, and finds out that one man can affect everybody else, and that is It's a Wonderful Life with Jimmy Stewart. This is a movie I saw in 1994 for the very first time on December 17th, going on into the 18th. And I know that because my wife went into labor while I was watching it. And the thing is she kept saying, "Why are you just watching a movie? Come and help me." "Okay, I'll go help you." "Get away from me." "Okay, I'll get away from you." "Why are you watching? Come help me." And that was my evening. Back and forth, watching and taking care of her, driving her out to the hospital to find out we need to go home, and then we just drive back. But absolutely fantastic film. RDV, what is your number 6?
Well, we're going to go back to 1955. It stars Aldo Ray, Peter Ustinov, and Humphrey Bogart. If you don't know what this movie is, well, they made a horrible remake in the 1988 or 89 with Robert De Niro. But this is We're No Angels.
Oh shit! I haven't seen that in forever. Yeah,
that is just a fun movie. Joan Bennett, Basil Rathbone. I'm looking at the cast again here. Again, just so many people in this movie that I love it. Basically, they're on Devil's Island. They break out and they end up we're gonna rob these people, but turns out they find out that the guy who's running the shop, is actually being screwed over by his brother-in-law or cousin or something like that, and then he ends up these 3 crooks end up having a heart of gold and help these 2 star-crossed lovers, basically the guy's daughter and this other guy get together and help himself for Christmas, and it's just a fun movie. it's basically like the Three Stooges, but without the slap humor. It's a serious version of the Three Stooges, Three Criminals. It's fun, and you guys should get out. I'm not sure where it's airing. Oh no, you can watch it for free on Pluto TV right now.
All right, haven't seen that in forever.
Gloria Talbot is in there too.
See, we have. I can agree with Dalton. And New York City was bigger than the first one. The first one was great, but the second one is bigger. The second one just felt like a bigger stage. Stay in your rooms. We have an insane guest with a gun. Like nobody calls the cops. They think they're being shot at. Nobody calls the cops. Wow, that's a great memory. It is. That has stayed with me forever. That night, of course, it's the night of my daughter's birth, my first kid. My brother's friend just went into a ski accident. Wow, okay. He has a concussion, had the same conversation with him the whole day. He's okay. Well, I'm glad your friend's okay. His story with Gail in the hospital bed just reminded me of it, says Austin. Oh, there you go. Actually, Gail, in one of those little backless things, she was hurt and she wanted to get the epidural, the whole 9 yards, but it was too late. They told her that. And she goes, I kid you not. She says, then I'm not doing this. And she gets up out of bed and starts walking out with the backless thing. That was a great night. But then again, I wasn't giving birth. All righty. Eric, what is your number 6?
Well, first, Dalton, in honor of your last pick, latest tweet from Babylon B. Soros back district attorney prosecutes Illinois boy for terrorizing burglars.
Actually, funny story related to Home Alone. My younger brother, Brock, was an absolute terror between the ages of like 2 and 4. And so every year for Christmas, we used to call him Kevin McAllister because he was exactly the kind of kid who would have set those kind of booby traps for burglars. He actually got a little blue bathrobe for Christmas one year because Kevin wears blue bathrobe in one of the movies. I can't remember which one.
Nice.
But, yeah.
All right.
Number 6.
All right.
Shop Around the Corner. Venkman is now in the cult. So quiet little movie from 1940. Set in Budapest. James Stewart. Margaret Sullivan. Frank Morgan, who I believe played the wizard on The Wizard of Oz. Yep. It's just a fun movie. It's basically what You've Got Mail is a remake of. This is the original. It's obviously no action. It's all about the characters in the movie and how they interact, and there's the and each one brings something unique to the movie, and there's about 5 or 6 standout characters that just makes it a very memorable way to spend an hour and 40 minutes. I thoroughly enjoyed it. That's another one that I watch every year.
I love that movie. And I like You've Got Mail. Shop Around the Corner is better. There you go. Dalton, number 6.
My number 6 is Michael Dougherty's Krampus. Speaking of non-Santa Yuletide figures having a bit of a moment, I think it's fair to say that this is what started the avalanche of Krampus becoming more and more well-known by most people. And it must be said that I am an absolute simp for Michael Dougherty. I will watch basically anything he directs. And Trick or Treat is probably my favorite Halloween movie, full stop, because it's actually about the lore thereof. I don't think that Krampus is as good as Trick or Treat by any stretch of the imagination, but I do like to think that they take place in the same universe, and I applaud Michael Dougherty for being that much of a lore geek. It's like what would happen if somebody gave me a movie budget. Is basically what happens every time Michael Dougherty makes a thing.
That movie, as I just read Austin, I just watched Krampus for the first time. I was surprised at how good it was. It being a PG-13 horror film, it's one you could watch with the I wouldn't say young kids, but with tween, you know, a 10 to 13. It's the kind of movie that were made for us in Gen X. They trusted us not to lose our shit.
Yeah,
And,
I think it definitely takes a lot of inspiration from Gremlins.
Yeah, it's a real horror film.
Said.
Yeah, and it works. I agree. There's a place called Shop Around the Corner, says Rhaegar. Guess what kind of shop it is? Yeah, okay. I watched Shop Around the Corner last week. It's a great movie, says Joe. Wake Up Jay. Let's see. I watched Krampus. Okay, we got that one. I was expecting some B movie slop, but it was actually a good movie. Is it me, or does it feel kind of like it? Exactly. It feels like a nice 80s horror. Okay. If you like that one, Violent Night. I'm being asked here between the two of them. They're two different movies. Violent Night is Die Hard on Christmas Day. And Krampus is an actual monster horror film. I would rather watch Krampus than Violent Night, but depending on what you're after, I think they're both good examples of what they are.
If you liked Krampus and you have not yet seen Trick or Treat, next time Halloween rolls around, watch Trick or Treat. It is
good movie.
I think it is the much better movie, but it's very much cut from the same cloth as Krampus.
Number 5, Eric mentioned it earlier. I'm mentioning it now. You have a kindly elderly gentleman walking through the streets of New York, comes across a parade where the guy playing Santa Claus is drunk. So he steps in and decides he's going to play Santa Claus himself, becomes the Macy's Day Santa Claus. Everybody believes in him and the things that he's doing for the community until another employee at the shop decides that he's crazy. And now you have a New York City trial with Santa Claus trying to fight for his own sanity and his own freedom. And it is fan-freaking-tastic. I will tell you, Miracle on 34th Street, watch the Fred Gwynn, right?
Edmund
Gwynn. Fred Gwynn is Munsters, right?
Yes.
Okay, Edmund Gwynn, thank you, is Santa Claus. I don't care. Ed Gwynn is Santa Claus. I'm convinced of it. He plays the character perfect, I think. Very kind, not afraid to get angry if he needs to be. I think the bit with him and his lawyer, the guy who lives across the street from Maureen O'Hara and her daughter, I forget his name, sorry, but I think that they team up to save these two from their own cynicism, from their own depression, from what came before. Not so much the little girl. They're just trying to let the little girl be a little girl, but the mom who's been lied to and she doesn't believe in things anymore, and they use them as the litmus test. One thing I love about this film is the guy who teams up with Santa, his lawyer, not once has a bit of doubt. He is faithful. Not only that there's a Santa Claus, but it does exist in the body of Kris Kringle. Absolutely. And hello to Elizabeth, the other Elizabeth. Ashley, how you doing, hun? But yeah, fantastic film. It's my number 5. RDV, what's yours?
In 1985, Soviet operative lands on the beaches of Florida. And this ex-CIA agent, Manhunter, is forced to come out of retirement and basically stop him after he kills his friend. Chuck Norris, Invasion USA, bro.
Invasion USA.
Because it takes place during Christmas.
It takes place during Christmas. Yeah, and like I said, if it's a Christmas movie, you're going to be watching on Christmas. It's your movie, man.
And if you're expecting a kick, there's only one at the end.
The movie is fantastically bad.
It's written by Chuck Norris's brother.
It is bad, but it is fantastic.
I didn't think it's too bad. I mean, the rocket launchers just basically blowing up suburban houses in Florida that have the Christmas lights, and just like the kids, like, hey, like it was just like, it's not bad, but it's in a sense, it's more like it's more like cheesy. It's more like a Bob Haney story with violence.
Okay, it is fun. And it is one of the cheesiest and one of the best of Chuck Norris's movies.
I love
Eric,
it.
what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Meet Me in St. Louis.
Meet Me in St. Louis.
Yeah, not exactly. It's again, it's more Christmas adjacent, but for whatever reason, that movie just strikes a chord with me. It's I started watching it about 5 or 6 years ago, and I don't miss a year now. And I mean, basically, there's probably as much attention paid to Halloween as Christmas in this, but
yeah,
it just seems like the one of the most famous Christmas songs of all time, Have Yourself a Merry Christmas, a Merry Little Christmas, which was actually originally written a lot darker than what the end result was. But it's just there's just something about that movie that I really enjoy, and obviously it's not for anybody because it definitely is a musical, but I just want it's one of those where there's so many distinct personalities and everybody meshes well together, and it's just a lot of fun.
I absolutely agree. And this is also a movie that I've discovered recently, and I will tell you this: one of the best child actors, or in this case, actress, ever. I think the youngest daughter.
Margaret O'Brien.
Say again.
Margaret O'Brien.
She freaking kills in this movie. Well, actually, the best scene is when they're going. It is the Halloween actually, the Christmas where she loses it is powerful. But for me, it's the Halloween scene where there's the mean old man down the road, and they got to kill them. And the way they do that is they knock on the door and then throw flour in their face and run away. That was the Halloween tradition back then. Okay. But the way she acted going up and then the way she acted after, absolutely fantastic. Love it.
And real quick, fun, did you know she's not the only cast member still alive?
Oh, yeah.
June Lockhart, 99 and counting.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All righty. Dalton, you're number 5.
My number 5 is the animated version of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. And this is primarily because it was my great-grandmother's favorite Christmas special or Christmas movie. Also because the villain in this movie, Cousin Mel, reminds me of some other members of my family who I will not go into. But this movie, for anyone who hasn't seen it, is basically someone takes the song "Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer" and essentially creates a plot related to it. And I rewatch it every year, especially after my great grandma died, because I remember it as her favorite Christmas movie. She would always joke that it was her in the movie when we would watch it.
That's funny.
So yeah, my top 5 are going to be littered with nostalgia vibes, folks. It's just inevitable. You can't really celebrate Christmas without it tugging on your heartstrings a little bit, because we all have those nostalgic childhood memories and stuff.
All right. Let's see. We've got Merry Christmas, Ashley. Merry Christmas. Let's see. We've got just finished Jingle All the Way for the first time. It's just as bad yet fun at the same time as I thought it'd be. I love it.
I suspect Red 1 is going to wind up with a reputation very similar to Jingle All the Way.
I was one of the ones that loved Jingle All the Way when it first came out, and that was a harder hill to climb than Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm glad it gets the recognition now. I
freaking think so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad it gets the recognition now and people like it. But yeah, Put the Cookie Down. We just watched that recently as well. It is a fine and fun production there. All righty, my number 4 for sure. Is this actually the most recent one on my list? Yeah, I think it is, and that just should tell you. Elf, with Will Ferrell. Freaking funny from beginning to end. And I know just the one thing that always gets me, the one joke that always gets me is when, because I do this now to people. when the one person is waving for a taxi, it just pops up, hi, and they're just doing it. That kills me every time. And I've done that so many times to people. Hi, you know. It's a lot of fun. It's a very funny film. Me and Gail, once again, this is a movie that we love watching, and we quote it to each other. There's a line in there where Christmas is my favorite. And the black guy's his boss at Macy's or Kohl's or wherever it is. He goes, make work your favorite. No matter what we're talking, that's my favorite. And we'll just throw that out at each other. We quote it back and forth. It is just thoroughly entertaining, absolutely entertaining movie. And it is, once again, it's one of those that brings in the Christmas spirit. Absolutely love it. You look in pain thinking about Elf right now, Dalton.
Yes, I am, and I really don't want to dump on your thing, but
you mentioned unaccompanied minors
Elf so much.
I did not like unaccompanied minors. I didn't like one that RDV picked up. It's not, it's my Christmas, that's where we're going.
Elf is in the same category as that annoying Christmas shoes song for me, because it basically encompasses
that's my number 2.
Everything I hate about but I cannot stand Elf. Will Ferrell needs to turn his hyperactivity down like 5 or 6 freaking notches before I can even stomach him in that thing. So I apologize, but
you're just mad because
you are on the Elf Island alone, sir.
I don't think so. And by
I will
the way,
say this, so
sir, sit on a throne of lies. Yes, RDV, what is your number 4?
I'll just say this. Zoe Deschanel is what makes me watch that movie. I don't care for Will Ferrell in the movie at all. Because it's the same. It's really Will Ferrell in that movie, Elf.
Before you go, let me grab some of these here. Let's see. Ernest Saves Christmas, I like that movie. I did not think I would, but I do like that. 2 older Little Women movies are Christmas adjacent. I love 3 of them, by the way. The one with Katharine Hepburn, the one with Winona Ryder, and this recent one that had Sienna, what's her name, and Florence Pugh. Brilliant. Love them. Love those 3 versions of Little Women. Ernest Saves Christmas is a lot of fun. Oh, yeah, well, I got news for you. I can't bake. I just watched that the other night, says Geek. Let's see. I thought Dalton was going to say, and it was because my grandma got run over by a reindeer. Star Wars is not a Christmas movie, but I always associate with Christmas because we always used to watch the trilogy on Christmas. Well, that's your Christmas thing. Kelsey Grammer and Mr. St. Nick is one of my favorites, says Geek Hero. Grandma got ran over by a reindeer, made my youngest brother cry every time he heard it. It was blood in the water for me and my other brother. Right. Jingle All the Way. Let's see. Elf was my childhood. I changed nothing about it, says Austin. I'd agree. We even had a turtle named Buddy.
Hey there, buddy.
And let's see. Put up poll. Is Elf good?
And by the way, I'm not trying to take away anyone's joy who does like it. It's one of those situations, though. If you got something out of the movie that I didn't, good on you. But I hate that movie.
You know, Dalton, I hate Home Alone. I've seen it way too many times, more than I wanted to. The point where I cannot watch it. It causes me trauma.
Alrighty, hold on just a second. All right, the poll is up. Is Elf good or is Elf bad? And in the meantime, RDV, what is your number 4?
I was going to do a runner-up real quickly. When did it make the poll? Or not the poll, but the list. Because he's bringing on some older movies, nostalgia movies, and it made me thought of Jerry Van Dyke, Jim Varney, and Randy Travis. Dalton, you know what this one is? From 1997, Annabelle's Wish.
Annabelle's Wish is good.
I don't remember that one.
About a baby calf, cow with the ability to talk, and a mute boy, and the cow wants basically to join. Will be one of Santa's reindeers, and on the way she becomes friends with the boy and helps him regain how to speak. You know, she gives up her gift to be a reindeer in order to basically, for Santa to basically allow the boy to have his voice, you know, back.
I don't think I've ever seen that. I'm gonna have to look that up now.
It was on like before it became the CW, it was on the WB back in the day. I remember watching it. Yeah, but yeah, very good movie. Check that out if anybody have. But my number 4 for tonight is Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Mickey Rooney, Fred Astaire. Man, Mickey Rooney, man, it's just I love that. The whole movie. I maybe seen that about 3 or 4 times now, but when before I even saw it, I was one of those kids like I saw Frosty, I saw Rudolph. Like I don't think I could take another one. Then I watched and I was like, it's the story of Santa Claus, and just the whole thing. It's just fun. We recently reviewed Rudolph on Extreme Movie Show, and I just not a big fan of it. You know, I recognize it being for what it was. It's a good story. It's just not as entertaining as it once was for me. It's lost the magic. But Santa Claus Coming to Town, no matter how many times I watch that, it's just one of those movies I love. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Jack Frost. I think that one's a horrible, heartbreaking, depressing movie.
You don't like the Jack Frost Rankin Bass one?
The Rankin Bass one. I don't like whatever it's called. It's called Jack Frost, I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Because he falls in love with a girl and then he realizes, oh wait, I'm destined to be alone. Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess I never looked at it that way, but fair enough. I suppose. I really like the Jack Frost one, but that's just me.
If I'm gonna watch Jack Frost, I'm watching the Michael Keaton one.
I knew you were gonna bring that up. I knew it as soon as the topic of Jack Frost came up.
Well, I'm not gonna watch the horror one where the girl gets with the carrot. Yeah.
Well, no, definitely no.
But yeah, that is my number 4 though. But guys, if you haven't checked out Animal's Wish, it's a Randy Travis freaking movie. Like, does the narration? I'm like,
oh, sorry.
I'm just saying, when's the last time you heard anything about Randy Travis?
Randy Travis, wasn't he in? Oh, hold on, no, Eric. What is your number 4?
Are we done talking about Randy Travis?
We are. We're done with Randy Travis. Okay. Yes, number 4.
Okay, first I respond to the poll. Never seen it. Okay. Number 4. It's a Wonderful Life. I mean, I mean, there's what more do you need to say about a movie that has just, like I said, it seems like get bigger every year. But yeah, I appreciate again some of the performances in that. I mean, I said a lot of people don't even remember him anymore because he's been gone for so many years. But Lionel Barrymore could, in a day and age where where a lot of people just played themselves and everything, he could go from the kindly doctor in the early Kildare movies to just the town shithead and everything in between. Tremendously talented guy. And so love it. Don't get to see it as often as some of the other stuff. But yeah, I'm not gonna waste any more time talking about it. We've all seen it. We all love it, I'm sure.
It's an amazing movie, and you are absolutely right about him.
Let's go back to socks now.
All right, yes. Dalton, number 4.
My number 4 is probably where I earn my millennial stripes. Jim Carrey's The Grinch. And yes, the Chuck Jones special is better, but we're ranking movies here. So Jim Carrey's The Grinch. I love it just because it captures Christmas atmosphere so well. And it's one of the last really big movies that was predominantly practically done. And I miss that. So much of that movie would not work if it were done with CGI. It works because so much of the over-the-top, Seussical aesthetics and things were done practically with actual sets and props and stuff. And of course, Jim Carrey delivers arguably his best performance of his entire career in that movie. And that's a career, as I'm sure we all know, with a lot of stiff competition. And the fact that he had to learn deep meditation in order to do what he did with that movie with regards to the makeup and the suit and everything. I feel like that energy comes through in his Grinch performance the whole way through.
Yeah, he was upset and irritable, so he could play an upset and irritable guy. It's a lot of fun. I agree with you, and that's a movie we're going to be watching, me and the family, in the next couple of days. It's thoroughly entertaining. We were in a blessed situation where I worked for a long time at Universal Studios, and then somebody in my family worked, so we were able to go see the Universal Grinchmas, which was based on that movie.
Right. Yep.
So I got to tell you, I liked the music in there. Where Are You Christmas is a great song. It's a great makeup. It's a lot of fun. That is, you're right. That's a good movie. Didn't make the top 10, but I mean, there's so many great Christmas movies out there. It's hard to nail down.
Part of it is probably a generational thing. Like I said, this is probably where I earned my millennial stripes, because for me, I was 5 years old when that movie came out. It was the first movie.
Have a good night, Geek Hero.
It was the first Christmas movie I ever remember watching when I was a kid, and there was such a massive toy and marketing push for that movie at the time. And my mom, the year that movie came out, got me everything Jim Carrey Grinch related. So I have a lot of nostalgia for that movie. And I think a lot of millennials do in ways that older generations might not.
Yeah, well, that could be true. Like I said, I was surprised to look and see that Elf was the newest of the movies on my.
Like I said, I watched the Sonic
That's
movies.
20 years old.
I watched the Sonic movies
Yeah.
earlier this month, and all I see is the Grinch when Jim Carrey acts in that movie as Eggman.
I mean,
It's the
Jim
same-
Carrey just never phones in a performance, and never will. But
Okay,
it's funny to me that in his like late 60s, I think now, he's still able to act like a freaking 30-year-old.
So number 3, at one point in time, they were doing 24-hour marathons of this film when people just realized everybody loved it. Now there's a bit of backlash because it's been seen so many times, and there's a bit of backlash because idiots think that the last scene of the movie is racist. Fuck you guys. Just go yourself all the way down.
Chinese
restaurant
Chinese takeout
at
Christmas.
the end of A Christmas Story. The reason why A Christmas Story is one of, if not the greatest Christmas movie. Yes, I understand. I've got it on 3, but that my top 2, or 2 of my top 3 anyway, can shift.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best movie that captured what it's like being a kid at Christmas time.
Yep.
At least when I was a kid. I don't know how it is. You guys don't go outside.
I can confirm it was also my number 3, actually. That's why I said Jinx.
Okay. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. I love the voiceover. I love like when he's writing down the code, the Little Orphan Annie's secret, and he just builds up the tension. Oh my gosh, what it's gonna be? I can't believe it's a drink more Ovaltine, and what a letdown.
Commercial, yeah.
That it is. Every kid's gone through that kind of thing. Every kid's had the bully. Every kid has that wish. Oh, I hope I get this.
The child logic of it, yeah.
Yeah, it truly is great at capturing.
I can't identify with that movie. I never liked the poll during winter.
Well, you worked the poll, and I appreciate you coming in to cover some shifts. What is your number 3, RDV?
Well, I'll just say the only surviving actor of this movie is 83 years old. That is Gordon Gebert. And this movie, Eric, you should know this is. There's only one.
I know what you're about to say.
Exactly. Well, I want a train set. That's what I want for Christmas, and I want to return it. But my mom wants me to return it because she can't afford it, and she's also seeing 2 guys at the same time. This is Holiday Fair.
All righty.
One of the best Christmas movies I've discovered in the past 4 years Dominic guys. So 4 or 5, and it's one I watch every year. It's a fun movie. Robert Mitchum, was it Janet Leigh? I think it is, or Jennifer Leigh? No, Janet Leigh. Yeah, Janet Leigh. Yeah. And little Timmy, because he peeks and he thinks he's getting a present. Turns out she does buy because she is a commercial spy. She's working for another company and checking the prices. And it's just Robert Mitchum is just a phenomenal acting here. The kid is awesome too. It's just a fun movie. It has a happy ending, and that's kind of what you want for Christmas. You want happy endings. You don't want like sad endings.
I like a happy ending for most things.
We're watching for fantasy. I don't want to see reality.
Right. Okay, Eric, number 3.
Right, guys. Like, hey, you should do a podcast about movies. Oh, that's one channel I'm glad you don't show up on, Rager.
VENKMAN, to your point, you had 2 movies that one that I just recently discovered and one that I've watched several times. Remember the Night and I'll Be Seeing You. Both end with the woman being redeposited back into prison. So you'd think there might be a happy ending, but it's on hold. So yeah, it's like, wow, that's a bummer. Let's see. My number 3 is It Happened on Fifth Avenue. If you want to see the long version of how I feel about it, VENKMAN, myself, and then E came in at the end, reviewed this last night on the Extreme Movie Show. It's just, I guess, there's a bunch of names that you won't recognize, and some people you think you've seen before and probably seen before, and really the only person in there that that like a casual would know is a very young skipper from Gilligan's Island's in it. But it is just so well done, so heartwarming. It is a bunch of a couple of great character actors, Charles Ruggles and Vincent Moore. It's just, like I said, I highly recommend it. It's set right. Well, it's made right after World War II, so it's set in the present at the time, and it's just a really heartwarming story.
Vincent Moore would have been a great Penguin.
Yeah, he would have.
They would have done it.
Really, yeah, you're right.
Victor Moore. I'm sorry, Victor Moore.
Victor Moore, yeah.
3 years ago, I think it was, you introduced me to that movie. It is a lot of fun, and it's one of those Christmas adjacent movies, in my opinion, that it just nails the feeling, though. It's absolutely something that gives you a Christmas spirit. Let's see. Why are they not played by? Wait, what? There are 3 Christmas movies I watched as a kid. I have the script memorized. Elf, Rudolph, and Polar Express. Just outside my top 10 is Polar Express. Actually, I could probably interchange Santa Claus definitely with it. So, by the way, I loved Polar Express once again from the very beginning. A lot of people had a problem because the technology was brand new, and those kids have that rubbery look to them, and people freak out about it. But I always loved the story. Absolutely love the story. As a matter of fact, I might watch that when I get off doing this here. Dalton, do you want to add anything to the Christmas Story, or?
Yeah, I'll do my 2 cents on our shared number 3, which was A Christmas Story, because it perfectly balances the need to be timeless because it's applicable to every kid who's ever been a kid, but also an excellent period piece in terms of it's the 80s kind of retrospecting on the 50s or the 40s, and it nails everything on so many levels and is so perfect and timeless that, like, I understand people thinking it's overexposed and wondering why the 24-hour marathons, but honestly, if there had to be a movie that had like a 24-hour marathon on Christmas Day, it freaking should be that movie, because that movie does encapsulate so much that's perfect about Christmas, and also showing those of us who were too young to live through the time period it's set in, kind of, as someone who's researched a lot of history around like Great Depression and that sort of era, I think it does a pretty amazing job recapturing that vibe as well.
Really
the whole Orphan Annie radio show thing and that sort of stuff. Also, this is going to be a weird question. Does the narrator sound to anyone else like Adam West? Because I, for the longest time, thought Adam West was the narrator in that movie.
No, I didn't hear it, but I'm going, when I listen to it again, I'll see if I can hear some Adam West. All right, number 2 is oh goodness gracious, Clark, we're under a truck. Do you honestly think I don't know that? Favorite part of that made me laugh like a sieve is that just is absolutely funniest movie. Still watch it and laugh. And I've seen this every year multiple times because Gail could watch it on a loop and it makes me laugh. It's Christmas Vacation. The song is a lot of fun. I love the fact that at the end we get to see Betty Boop. I mean, she's 90, but there you go. Everybody knows Shitter's Full. That is one of the most quotable and one of the most entertaining Christmas movies of all time. Hands down, it is a staple, and it deserves to be.
What happened to the cat?
Yeah,
nothing in my house where you're going to wind up dead. That's the answer to that question.
Like the turkey is the best part of that movie. It goes poof. It deflates.
Gail was watching it. And she goes, "Oh my gosh, I never noticed." I said, "What?" And she says, and I rewound it. She goes, "Watch Cousin Eddie." And he's like, "You know what I like for Christmas, Eddie? I'd like for someone to bring my," and he goes off on his boss here so I could give him a piece of my mind. And Eddie is looking, he goes, and then just walks away, because it's too easy to cut and you don't notice him because you're watching the foreground that Eddie actually has a moment where he decides he's going to go kidnap Clark's boss. Yeah, a lot of fun. I love this one. There's a lot of great jokes. Okay, here's something you might not have noticed also. Watching the movie, before the family gets there, everybody's just kind of chilling out. You got Beverly D'Angelo in the kitchen. Clark's doing his thing. The daughter's in her room. And the doorbell rings. Ding dong. And you see Beverly D'Angelo turn. And then it goes, ding dong, as it shows the daughter. And then it shows the son. Ding dong. And then it shows it shows the door. And it's boom, boom, showing that something horrible is coming to the door, and it ends up being the family. If you haven't noticed that, watch it now. You'll never unnotice it. All right, number 2 for you, RDV, is?
Well, rewinding back to Eric's number 3.
Oh, BKB.
Yeah, we're at my number 3 is actually my number 2 is It Happened on Fifth Avenue. If you want a longer explanation, you can rewind to this, listen to Eric, or go back to a review with me and Rob on a Q Movie Show.
Rob.
All right. I know you were with Eric on that one, but there you go.
No. Or no, it's right. Yeah, I'm thinking of Shop Around the Corner. Yeah.
You were with not Rob, remember?
Right.
Well, that's right. Yeah.
Eric, what is your number 2?
I've been on too many streams in the past. Like,
I was even on camera for that size.
We need to get you a name tag that says not Rob, Eric.
Well, my number 2 is, I believe, Venkman's number 3. It's Holiday Affair. I don't know why I like this movie as much as I do, other than that, if you've seen enough Robert Mitchum movies to see him play just a good guy.
Yep.
Through and through, no agenda. Other than he falls for a woman who's already taken by another guy who made a career out of playing thugs and heavies, Wendell Corey, who's also playing a legitimately good guy. So the two people vying for Connie Ennis, played by Janet Leigh, are both good people, and somebody's got to lose. And well, since Robert Mitchum's gets top billing, who's gonna lose.
The other thing is that the little Timmy also likes Mitchum over the other guy.
Yeah, little Timmy that needed to go to a wood chipper, but Wendell Corey plays a lawyer. In the speech he gives in the car before she goes up to see Robert Mitchum to give him the money back for the train, it's just a wonderful little holiday movie. And I said to me it's Christmas movie because it's basically the whole movie's Christmas to New Year's, so it's a holiday movie.
The guy in the park at the bench, he gives him
and Colonel Potter from MASH has one great scene in it, playing a very put upon judge.
Yep.
There you go. Alrighty, Dalton, number this.
I'm gonna have to cheat because I've been going back and forth all night as to which one of these is going to be my number 2, and so screw it, it's a tie. The first part of that tie is the 1998 animated Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie. Everyone and their dog grows up with the Rankin Bass stop motion one. I grew up with this one. The one that has Whoopi Goldberg in it as the villain. John Goodman is Santa Claus. Eric Idle plays a mischievous fox named Slyly. And they actually explain why Rudolph's nose glows in this one, at least to some degree. And that's because he was blessed in this version by the spirits of the Northern Lights. And everything about this movie is just my childhood personified. I revisit it every year, and so that's why it is in the number 2 slot for me. The second part of my number 2 tie is a movie called The Tangerine Bear. Now, something you've got to know about me, I have been collecting antiques for most of my life, and I'm like 80% sure the movie The Tangerine Bear is part of the reason why. For those that don't know, it's about a teddy bear whose mouth was stitched on the wrong way around, and so nobody wants him, and so he winds up on discount racks and in antique and thrift stores throughout the movie, and interacting with other sort of basically. Imagine if there was a movie focused on the toys that wind up on the island of misfit toys from the Rankin and Bass Rudolph that I don't like so much. That would be this movie, and I'm 90% sure it's a large part of the reason why I have always been such an antiquer ever since I was a little kid. So yeah, those are the 2 movies that tied in my number 2 slot.
Alrighty, and that leaves number 1. Now, you mentioned runner-ups. I've got Polar Express probably in there. There's, by the way, I mentioned Santa Claus, but actually Santa Claus 2 is my favorite of that
Did I
series.
mention that I never would have thought that Whoopi Goldberg would turn out to be the villain?
I know, right? It's like real life. Polar Express is my number 2, showing my millennial here. By the way, I absolutely. Polar Express, I mentioned it before, and I'll call it the runner-up, but Ashley and Elizabeth and I, we watched that quite a bit. We would have parties and such where we would have at work at Universal Studios, and I would bring the family in, and they would watch it. It's just a great movie. I really do enjoy that, and as a matter of fact, like I said, I think I'm going to turn it on when this is done here. Absolutely fantastic. If anybody else have any runner-ups they couldn't fit on the list, the number 11 or 12?
Ooh, I'm trying to think, because there's quite a few that I forgot them. It's been about 2 hours.
Okay.
I'd say probably Santa Claus, Elf for me. Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Yeah.
All 3 Santa Clauses would probably go on the list. Home Alone 2, honestly, probably should be where Home Alone 1 was. I intended to give it another slot. I intended to give Home Alone 2 another slot, and then I remembered, oh wait, Christmas Story exists, and therefore it got top billing.
I like this movie too, but it's a little bit further down the list. All right, my number one movie, I mentioned it earlier. I'm going to watch it on Christmas Day, as I always do. It is absolutely the greatest version of Christmas Carol. It is the Muppets Christmas Carol. I think that the Rizzo and Gonzo, as it was mentioned earlier, I believe by RDV, makes this.
Little Rizzo.
It truly does. Michael Caine kills as Scrooge. I will say this. I was lucky enough to see it in the theaters when they had the song. There is a song in the middle of it. It's a very slow ballad, but it talks about how Ebenezer Scrooge and his girlfriend, or his fiancee, breaks up. It's even called back at the end of the movie. That is, in my opinion, the emotional core of the film. I have the DVD and one of the extras is you can watch it. It's full screen. It's the only way it's released in its entirety. I hate full screen. I hate it with a passion. Muppet Christmas Carol is the only film I watch on full screen, or as they call pan and scan. And that's because it includes the song and the emotional core. The other way is still good, but absolutely. And by the way, I did say Charlie Brown Christmas is the best of everything all, but we're doing movies, so I'm sticking to the theme. Abso-freaking-lutely, Muppets Christmas Carol is, the Christmas Carol alone it's the greatest Christmas story aside from the one about Jesus. This is the best version of that. Not the most accurate. Once again, that still belongs to Alastair Sims and the one I mentioned earlier, the Jim Carrey one. RDV, what is your number one?
I think it was Dalton. You brought up Grandma got ran over by a reindeer. Somebody brought that up. Was there an Oscar?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
It was my great grandmother's favorite, and that one was a saint, and so it will always live a special place in my heart.
That's one of my runners-up. Yeah, from 2000, the animated movie. Yep. As a bunch of people I don't know. I don't know who Elmo Sphere or Susan Blue. It's just like this. It was a cartoon one. I remember that and Annabelle were the two ones I watched on the WB back in the day. But for me, my number one is The Shop Around the Corner. Jimmy Stewart wins this year. I just love that movie. It's the first time seeing it this year. Never seen it before. Because it was a toss up between The Thin Man or Shop Around the Corner, and unfortunately, The Thin Man got pushed out because they had some other last minute changes. But yeah, Shop Around the Corner. James Stewart, Margaret Sullivan, comedy about two people who it's basically You Got Mail. But the concept of this movie is that they don't know that they're actually each other's pen pals, and they just been kind of have this romantic kind of like thrift. But and then when they so he actually finds out that the new girl that was working at the shop, who he cannot stand, is the girl he's actually in love with in the letter. And it's just from there, the hilarity, everything. There's even like, because this movie came out, 1945, 1941, or 1940. Like, the shop owner tries offing himself, off camera though, with a gun. But still, it's like, I was shocked to see that in a movie.
Yeah. In such an older movie like that.
Yeah.
I mean, the entire premise of It's a Wonderful Life is a suicide attempt, so there's that.
True. Yeah, to stop a
But
suicide
I mean,
attempt.
this was a gun. The gun actually goes off. You hear it.
Right. This is him. They actually show him getting the gun ready and everything instead of just leaning on a bridge.
Isn't there a scene with George Bailey on a bridge though, where he's about to?
Yeah, it's a lot different. A gun at your head is a much more violent image than
And you don't know if George is going to jump because the angel jumps in and he goes after him because his instincts kick in to save the drowning man.
Around the Corner. I reviewed this with Rob. If you want a longer explanation about what I like, reason why I like it, go check out Extreme Movie Show. But yeah, it's a very, very good. And also, it's Jimmy Stewart. It's the youngest I've ever seen him in any movie. And it's just wonderful. It's great.
All right. And Eric, number one.
Yeah, a couple of quick runners-ups.
All right.
They said Remember the Night, Thin Man, Thin Man's just not enough Christmas. I mean, I love the movie.
Yeah.
You know, but it's it wasn't Christmassy enough to make this list. I'll Be Seeing You. Yeah, I discovered that this year. Two of my favorites, Just Cotton and Ginger Rogers, and teenage Shirley Temple. But again, I said I'll need to see that a time or two more to see if it, finds its way on the list. And White Christmas, excellent movie.
Yeah, that actually is on one of my runners up.
But my number one is Christmas in Connecticut.
Alrighty.
Found that about 7 years ago. Dennis Morgan, who was basically a song and dance man, who partnered with a guy named Jack Carson, and they made a couple movies with Doris Day early in her career. It's he and Barbara Stanwyck, who writes this column where she positions herself as this Susie Homemaker idyllic lifestyle, when in reality she lives in a one-room apartment overlooking nothing, and she's hiding all this from her boss, played by Sidney Greenstreet, who steals half the movie, and C.K. Sakal steals the other half. He is a Hungarian actor with the funny voice.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's hunky dunky, and and Sidney Greenstreet are just great together. It's one of those where you have to read a Superman comic to get some realism after you watch this, but that's okay because that's what Christmas movies are about. And it just each year I watch it, I like it more and more, and I finally realized, this is my favorite of all of them.
Well, that's awesome. Awesome. All right, let's go to the young kid. What is your number one Christmas movie of all time?
My number one Christmas movie is also my favorite version of A Christmas Carol, 1984's Christmas Carol with George C. Scott. The main reason I think this one sticks in my head as much as it does, apart from it being one of the inspirations for Rob and I's perennial Christmas Carol argument. For those that don't know, Rob is slightly insane and thinks that Christmas Carol is anti-capitalist propaganda. I don't get it either, but yeah. But in any case, the main reason why I think this one, above all the other versions that I've seen, a lot of versions of A Christmas Carol, is the one that sticks, is because George C. Scott makes Scrooge a more three-dimensional person. Because one of my biggest problems with a lot of versions of Scrooge is they play him to an almost cartoonically evil degree when he's in his bitter anti-Christmas mode. But with George C. Scott's version, a lot of the lines of Scrooge, the, surplus population, the buried with a stake of holly through his heart, etc., all that is played by Scott more as an old man with a bitter, dry sense of humor. And you can still see that even though Scrooge has been, hard done by life, he still does have a spark of joy and a spark of humanity in him that makes his post-ghost high point feel a lot more likely and a lot more organic, because instead of Scrooge going from this cartoonishly evil, bitter person to the nicest guy in the world, you also see it in his acting when he's with the ghost. Throughout the night, he slowly rekindles what he liked about Christmas, whether it was in the past with the Ghost of Christmas Past, or whether it's slowly learning to have empathy for the Cratchits and his nephew and so on. I feel like that is why George C. Scott is my favorite Scrooge, and by proxy why this one is also my favorite version of A Christmas Carol, because Scrooge is very thinly written in the original story, and seeing that turned into a person that could plausibly exist does help, I think.
Alrighty. Well, there you go, gang. It only took us 2 hours and 20 minutes to do it, but we got through 40 choices, or at least I know there weren't 40 movies because we overlapped. But
Also, I gotta say, you said you go to the young kid. I don't think Dalton's young anymore. He's getting up to upper 20s.
he's 27.
29.
Yeah, he's almost
29.
30.
He's a year older than my youngest daughter, but I will point that out that's 10 years less than you. That is.
I am still the youngest.
29 is what? That's 25 years younger than me.
I'm turning 40. 40 is old, man.
That's
And
all. That's all you need to go. You don't need to go any farther.
I don't have to continue.
You can say that I'd already been sober for 3 years before Dalton came along.
Yeah, and just to put a final
And I didn't
point,
start drinking again.
There's
So
10 years between me.
So Dalton's old enough to be your grandchild then.
Just
Hey,
about,
VENKMAN.
Yeah.
that is true.
I want you to think about the guy you do a lot of your geeky puppet show stuff with,
Zach?
and take that middle finger of his.
I don't like this. This is getting very
And shove it in the preferable hole.
Alrighty, let's see.
I think is where that joke ends.
Maranya says Home Alone, Christmas Story, and any movie starring Chevy Chase. I do not like any of them. Sam, I am. I came in late, so I'm going to make my list in a sec, says Austin. My number one, says Dark Admiral, is Charlie Brown Christmas. Number one above all, in my opinion, is Charlie Brown Christmas. Austin, they explain perfectly why Rudolph nose glows and Frosty and the Rudolph's Christmas in July. Rhaegar doesn't like the Muppets. Christmas Story and Muppets Christmas Carol are tied for first. Emmett Otter would be my number 3, says Ashley. Number 10 for Austin is Polar Express. 9, Muppet Christmas Carol. 8, The Bishop's Wife. 7 is White Christmas. 6, Christmas with the Chosen. Donny Boy!
Polar Express would also be in my honorable mentions if we did honorable mentions.
Just wanted to stop by and say Merry Christmas to you guys. How's your night going? Very well. Thank you very much.
Except the day decorating the tree, so I'm doing pretty
5
good.
is Arthur Christmas, a very good film. Very good film. 4, The Crossing. 3 is Klaus. Also, very good movie. It's on Netflix. So is Arthur Christmas, by the way. 2 is Elf, and 1 is It's a Wonderful Life. Rhaegar, especially since you don't instantly go when you have a boomstick to the melon. That is true. Let's see. Let's take a vote. Is Lion the Witch? We're getting done with the evening here. Let's see. Connecticut, I learned from watching Megyn Kelly, is very wealthy state, says Rhaegar. Delaware is also runner-ups. Nestor, the long-eared donkey, Rankin and Bassett doesn't get mentioned enough. That is pretty good. Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which was on RDV's list. The Young Kid, haha, says MK. Yeah, I really like that. It's all perspective.
We
really
missed
version.
Rise of the Guardians. Someone should have probably mentioned that too.
That was good as well. I tried to make Turkish Delight for one Christmas, like in the movie Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, but failed miserably.
Yeah, I think
Chronicles of Narnia is like
everyone
watching
who was a kid in the 2000s learned what Turkish Delight was from that movie.
Don't do Turkish Delight. Do Afternoon Delight.
By the way, Rhaegar saying you guys are making me fire up Arkham Origins with all this nostalgia talk, but I am about to encounter the Penguin on the ship. I play that every Christmas. It's awesome.
I was gonna say, where are you going? There's a penguins by you. You're in.
What's a year younger? What's a year younger than you, Ashley? Let's see. I'm not old. 40 seems to be the controversial. Year younger than Dalton is a year younger than Ashley and a year older than Elizabeth.
Yep, I was born in 95.
Yep.
July 25th of 95.
Elizabeth was born in August of 96, and Ashley was December. Actually, Ashley is one of those kids. We tried and we made sure we never combined her birthday. She is born on December 18th, by the way. Happy belated birthday. And so we always tried to make sure she had a birthday and Christmas.
So Dalton could be your middle child.
Yes. Yeah, Dalton could very well been my middle child. Yeah. Eric is,
I don't think that would have been good for either of us, though, to be fair.
Who's your daddy?
Okay, let's see. If I run a Teen Titans campaign, I'm making Austin a villain who steals people's youths to keep himself under 40. And there you go. And Rise of the Guardians is an Easter movie, just like Ten Commandments and Wizard of Oz. Older people know.
And you're obsessed with the RPGs. Take a break. Relax.
I wouldn't call Rise of the Guardians an Easter movie, because I mean Jack Frost is the main character and badass Russian Santa is one of the main characters in that.
MK says, question, who is the most popular and or most iconic biggest impact in music world between Michael Jackson, Madonna, Frank Sinatra, or Elvis? Who is the biggest, who had the biggest impact?
I think it's between Elvis and Frank, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Because Michael Jackson and Madonna built on what they built, so it's got to be one of them two, and I would have to go with Elvis on that.
Or Ashley.
Elvis, yeah, I would have to. I
mean,
like
they call him the
Sinatra
king
better.
for a reason.
I like Frank Sinatra better, but I think Elvis was probably
both of them had incredible comebacks. Frank's probably even more so because his career was absolutely dead to the point to where he had to beg for a part, and for that part he got From Here to Eternity.
But there would never have been a Madonna or an MJ if there was no Elvis. He is the originator of
that's why I think
the rock star image.
My daughter's calling me out. You tried, but I swear Elizabeth got the better birthdays. Do you think that, Elizabeth? You got better birthday parties and stuff than Ashley? You do think? Yeah, probably so. Probably. I mean, let's face it. For your birthday, we went to California Grill, one of the most expensive restaurants in Disney. And for Ashley, we said we would do things but didn't. So I agree. Okay, we missed. All right, Ashley, are you happy? You made me feel bad.
Wait.
Is that your idea of a good time to
publicly executing Eglinton's image of being a good father?
Hold on, putting on my psychologist hat here. This is why she moved away from you.
Oh, no, we're not going to get into that.
You're the childhood trauma.
We're not
have manifested in this desire to be as far away as you possibly can from your family.
I'm going to answer MK's last question. Frank Sinatra, definitely, and as far as the better actor. But here's the caveat. Elvis wanted to do dramatic roles, but the Colonel wouldn't let him. Because he, for whatever reason, he was very protective that Elvis keep that persona through all of his movies. And I think the only time he was ever allowed to do an actual drama was very late in his career. I think it was a movie with Elizabeth Montgomery that no one remembers. But so we'll never know what kind of dramatic actor.
Was this before or after Elizabeth Montgomery did Bewitched?
During. It's like late 60s.
Oh, good for her.
But yeah, so I think Elvis did more cultural impact, but people forget Frank was Elvis 10 years before Elvis. I mean, he was the king of the Bobby Soxers in the 40s, and then like I said, it all fell apart. Like in the late 40s, like into the early 50s, and he basically was persona non grata for about 3 or 4 or 5 years.
I think Frank was the better artist, but Elvis was the bigger deal in terms of reputation.
It's when Frank's his early days. You're probably right, but Elvis I think came along at a better time to get big because you did have television by then.
Yeah, timing definitely played a role there. I'm not saying it didn't. I'm just saying.
Who had the hotter co-stars?
It's Mary. Wasn't Elizabeth Montgomery? It was Mary Tyler Moore. Elizabeth Montgomery was in a movie when they with OJ when they were testing out his ability to act. You're right. Thank you, Maranya.
Hottest co-stars. Freaking Anne Margaret was.
I know. I'm like
that Anne Margaret was Nicole Kidman before Nicole Kidman.
My pal Joey, I think Rita Hayworth and Kim Novak.
Yeah, that's
Frank didn't do so bad himself. But yeah, like I said, but From Here to Eternity and then The Man with the Golden Arm, back to back, if I'm not mistaken, Oscar nominations. for Frank. So I mean, yeah, but yeah, as far as like all time, in my opinion, it's Frank, Elvis, Beatles, Michael. I hate to say it, Taylor Swift.
She's
For her to do
certainly
what she's done
getting up there. Yeah.
Well, for her to do what she's done in an era where no one has to pay for music anymore, that she can still sell the amount of physical copies.
And she's been like the voice of the millennial generation since I was in high school or even middle school. Still, like the first two songs she did, the "You Belong with Me" and "Love Story." I remember listening to those on the bus on the way to like middle school. So it's worth noting that she has managed to remain the voice of the millennial generation for a decade and some change at this point.
And she's the exception that proves the rule. She's one of the rare people that went woke and exploded in popularity, because when she changed from a conservative, right-leaning country artist to a leftist activist, she gained an entire nation of college fans, and that expanded her customer base from tween girls all the way through college, and by default, a lot of those kids' parents. She's like the safe artist for people to listen to. I don't think she would ever got anywhere near that, because if she hadn't started espousing left-wing talking points, I don't think she becomes big with the college kids, because like I said,
and that's probably true. I don't know many of her post-leftism songs, because like I said, the ones I remember of hers are the ones she did when she was still going through her country phase. Although I do think it's worth noting that Justin Bieber and Taylor Swift were contemporaries, and Taylor Swift is still a household name. Hardly anyone remembers Justin Bieber, and half the people that remember Justin Bieber hate Justin Bieber.
Yeah, well, her music isn't political. Her views are, and I think that has worked for her, whereas it's been the kiss of death for a lot of other people. It like I said, again, the exception.
I do think there are a couple of her songs that do kind of skirt the line, like the "If I Were a Man" song does strike me as rather, third wave feminist misandrist there, but
Anyway,
again, no denying she's a phenomenon.
No, she is, and she's even a bigger phenomenon today than she was when I was in middle school. So that's worth noting too.
All righty, gang. What do we got going on in the next couple of days? Tomorrow's the day we usually make our Christmas. Although Gail did say that she wants to do Christmas on Christmas because she's home. Never home. Never. This is like the first Christmas we actually have together. It's amazing. But do you have anything happening, RDV? Do you want to?
I got recorded stuff going up for the next 2 days. Starting tomorrow night, I got the Flintstones Christmas in Red Rock. We'll be airing right around 8 o'clock Eastern, I think.
Alrighty.
And then I got Casper's Classic Christmas, followed by Superman and Santa Claus. 'Twas the Fright Before Christmas. So
I think in honor of our yearly argument between me and Rob, I think I'm going to make a video called Why Scrooge is a Bad Capitalist. Because that's always been my biggest counter argument with the Rob thing is if Ebenezer Scrooge is supposed to be anti-capitalist propaganda, he is a terrible exemplar for capitalism.
So,
right.
And then,
going ahead, Eric.
Wednesday night. Go ahead.
I was to say, if the evening wears on tomorrow night and you get the urge to stream, like I said, I'll probably be available later in the evening. I know we've done that the last couple of years.
Yep. And I do, by the way, have an entire auction of books that have not yet been seen. New stuff coming in. I've had it available for some of them ready to go, the dollar books at least. But yeah, I'm going to get it ready. Maybe we could do this tomorrow. We'll see. it depends on how quickly Gail falls asleep.
Well, yeah, and I said, Jerry's coming over. I know the last couple times we've had him, read with us on Christmas Eve, and so I said, I should be available some point because there's some reason they don't make all those kids go out and play all those sports late into the evening on Christmas Eve. So I'll
go figure.
And I've already watched all my Christmas movies, so I'd probably be available for
All right.
Same with Christmas Day.
Yes, Austin, I have seen The Man Who Invented Christmas. I think that movie had a lot more potential than it ended up actually actualizing. I feel like, especially with that title, The Man Who Invented Christmas, they really should have focused a lot more on the actual historical war on Christmas, where Oliver Cromwell and company banned it on grounds of not being Christian enough, and how it was very much in part thanks to Charles Dickens that a lot of the older traditions that are coming back into circulation. But that's just sort of my mini review of The Man Who Invented Christmas. It didn't go far enough into that aspect.
All right, there you go. I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. I have an idea, England team, do a tier list rating every live show and movie Superman suit. I will keep that in mind. Actually, I guess tier lists are this thing, but you know what I will do? What I promised at the beginning. I'm going to put together this because I brought them all together. I'm going to dang do that tier list. It'll probably be a solo thing, but there you go. All right, kids, thanks for hanging out. As always, do appreciate it. Hope you were entertained. And at the very least, we'll see you again on Thursday. We're continuing, no, that depends on Gail too. We definitely on Friday, we're going to be doing Jingle Jangles because it was said continue with the Christmas comic book rankings. And Jingle Bell, that's what I meant. Jingle Bell is going to be the next one. And then after that, we've got, I want to say Harvey. I want to say Harvey is on Sunday. So we've got that going. Otherwise, Merry Christmas, you filthy animals, as Rhaegar is saying, and you kids have a great time. Thank you very, very much for watching.
Good night,
Christmas
kids.
cheers, guys.